What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
I can't hear myself, so I could. Listen. It's been a long weekend. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight, man?
Chilling, bro. Sweating my ass off, but you know.
uh,
Oh
you
shit, what's
said,
up?
"Oh, my bad. I didn't even get your private message, Chris. My bad, man. Make sure y'all can hear me good in the chat as well, cause episode 25, man, episode 25 is here. And we
Yo,
are
yo.
live for, yeah, we can hear
Can
you
y'all hear
loud,
me?
loud
Yeah,
and clear,
brother.
brother.
There we go. I can talk my talk.
You took that mute button off, huh?
No,
I don't know if that's my internet or anybody else's, but unfortunately, I had a real tough weekend before we get into anything. And I want to, shout out these two guys here. Um, Let me see, is making sure everything is good on my end because I know, like, I'm actually on Wi-Fi. I'm on my actually Mac laptop, and things just it's. I'm gonna get into the story, y'all. I'm gonna get into the story. We're going to talk about everything that transpired this weekend, and if it wasn't for these two fellas right here, I'm really surprised I'll have a computer to do anything going. And I'm being completely honest. Even the fact that like it still doesn't work. No, to the knowing the fact that it still doesn't work because everything just fell out of place. So, but let me tell y'all this story real quick, man.
Where's Chris?
So let me make sure my audio is good real quick. Hold up. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You know what?
What's up? You on the AOL again, Chris?
man, I'll tell you, man. It's this dial-up internet, man. No, I really don't know what's going on. It's like ever since last week, it's been messing up, man.
Yeah.
I had it hardwired in, had it Wi-Fi. I've been trying both ways, man.
Tell the fam to get off the Wi-Fi.
Shoot, it's just me.
Oh,
Yeah,
for real? Yeah.
man. I reset it and everything, man. What's up with you, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, man. Just trying to stay out of this damn heat. You know how that goes.
How-
All right, I'm back. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
good.
Yeah,
We good.
it sounds better. Unfortunately, y'all, I am on Wi-Fi, so I'm going to be on AOL like Chris' internet has been lately. We just going to work it out, man. We just going to work it out. What's up, family?
Yeah.
And I really appreciate everybody with the patience for the podcast and everything of that nature. But if it wasn't for these two guys here, man, my laptop went completely burnt out, and I don't know. We had a storm on Saturday, and I didn't do nothing on Saturday. And then Sunday, I wanted to do some NBA summer league games, and the computer just wouldn't. It just wouldn't turn on. It just wouldn't turn on. It was done.
It's
So
a devil, man. It's a devil messing with you, man.
it really is, man. It really is, and I have to say, like that same day, these two and my best friend China. Shout out to my best friend China, and they they helped me and my dad finance a desktop. Cool. We got everything back, as far as graphics and everything of that nature. And then here it comes with the desktop that does not have built-in speakers. So, so shout out to my cousin Shamar. Sent me some computer speakers for free that just was just sitting around his house. Then here come my Rodecaster Pro. If anybody knows what a Rodecaster Pro is, I'm gonna show you it right now. This bad boy is a almost $700 piece of work. This bad boy right here does everything for me audio wise. Everything. Now I get this new computer. I got the PC. I got the PC speakers, and now this thing don't want to work. My 2-year warranty expired in February. You really think I'm paying $600 for another one? Not right now, I ain't. So, as of right now, y'all, I'm letting it be known that that's the struggle that I'm going through right now, financially. But we definitely going to get into some Raider talk, man. But I still want to thank these guys for helping out, even though I went through so much shit this past weekend. And I don't know what's keeping this. I thought now, see, it's not me this time. It's not
You
me
know what?
this time.
Maybe it's an East Coast thing because y'all be lagging over there.
Well, on this Mac laptop, I can't plug it through the Ethernet because Mac computers stink. Mac computers suck when it comes to Ethernet cords. You gotta buy an extra piece to
That's
get
Apple,
it.
bro. Huh?
Yeah,
Apple will make you buy. Apple will make you buy an extra piece just to cut a headphone in.
it. No, you ain't never lied about that. You ain't never lied about that because that I decide to I don't know why this thing keep coming up. I keep thinking I'm looking at my big computer and I'm sitting here looking at my
It's just because you're used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But we gonna get into some Raider talk, y'all. Listen,
No, he didn't.
JT Sports. That's the topic I want to talk about because that was the topic I was supposed to talk about on Darren Hopkins show. I don't think the Raiders is going to tank for Caleb. I don't want us to tank. That's one thing
Man,
about
no organization,
us.
no
I don't
teams
want
want to tank. Period, bro. Hell no. Nope. Ain't no one want to tank on purpose. What's up, Menace? What's up, everybody? Queen
Right.
Bees.
I'm waiting for him to come back in. We having some technical issues, y'all, due to the internet. It's bad on both of our sides, man. It's really bad on both of our sides.
I'm telling you, it's an East Coast thing. Y'all need to come to the West Coast. You got better
I'm
internet.
really thinking about moving to the West Coast at this point. I'm really thinking about moving to the West Coast at this point because it's getting real out here. It's getting real out here.
Heat.
So, let me shut this other computer down because I want to make sure I ain't using access to no Wi-Fi to no nothing. So, Chris, you good, man?
That's right,
Man.
Bernard. What's up?
As good as I can be, man. I don't know what else to do. I'm wired in, so we'll see, man. It's AOL Roadrunner, man.
If you want to calm down and talk, that's fine. But I know you wanted to come on here and talk your shit. I know you wanted to.
Oh yeah, nah. You know we'll
Chris. Nah.
Hey, I'm good. I'm good until we start talking about
don't say it. And Brandon Parker.
Yeah.
Nope. Somebody asked Josh McDaniels is awful. Why do y'all have faith in him? Chris, I'm gonna let you take the floor on this.
So you get me started already, man. So Mr. JT Sports, man, I have faith in him because for one, he's my coach. So I'm going to go in with some optimism. For one, I think he is a offensive mastermind. He just needs he needs his foundation pieces just like any other coach does. You know, any other coach that's ever been successful in the NFL, 9 times out of the 10, they get an opportunity to get their players in there. For some reason, I feel like our fans, we have, we always want to say, well, hey, he took a playoff team and took them to the dirt. Like that playoff team of 2021 was lucky.
Don't diss my team, dog. Don't diss.
I'm sorry, man, but they're not as good as everybody try to act like it, man. If it wasn't for COVID, we wouldn't have got into the daggone playoffs.
Man,
we wouldn't have because we wouldn't have beat the Browns because we played against their third string quarterback. We barely beat them by a field goal at the end. We wouldn't have beat the Colts because their quarterback wasn't allowed to practice all week because of the COVID protocol. Nah. And then also the very last game of the season, the Jaguars upset the Colts. And that's the way we got into the playoffs. It's not like we were playing good ball.
So the last game we had to beat San
No,
Diego.
no, I'm not talking about us though. No, but what I'm saying, before we even played, the Jaguars beat the Colts, so that even opened the door for it. Because
That opened it with a tie. Yeah, they still had to win. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I mean, come on, let's keep it real, man. Let's keep it real. We're not, people act like that was like the 2016 team. That wasn't it.
It wasn't the 2016 team, but I get. But you know what? That happens in the NFL. Shit happens. Everybody had to deal with it, and the shit they had to endure after Gruden got fired. Like, that's why I had mad respect for that team, that they pushed through all that shit and they still made it to the playoffs. Even when we got to that Sunday night game, and everybody was like, "There's no way they're gonna beat LA. LA's got Herbert. LA's got this," and it came down to it. Like, we won.
Right.
I had mad respect for them. Even the playoff game, that Cincinnati one.
Yeah,
I was surprised that we were as close. Like, we were this close to us being the one to upset Cincinnati that year. You know
I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, JT Sports, I know you from Fan of Fan Network, bro, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you that the team, if that team was so lucky, why did the team get worse under the actual head coach versus the interim head coach, where it had to navigate several off the field issues? Let me tell you something about that. Number one, he was our interim coach because we was not bringing in another coach mid-season.
Right.
That's number one. We're not going to hire a coach mid-season. That's stupid. Number two, when it comes to Josh McDaniels, right now he only had one season as the Raiders head coach.
Yeah.
If you understand the logic of way coaches work, it takes time. I'm trying to be patient with Josh McDaniels. I was never a Josh McDaniels fan. Never was. And I got to give him a shot because he's a Raiders coach.
Yeah.
So you saying that what Rich Bisaccia did was absolutely lucky. Now, just imagine if he was the head coach going into next season. I don't think we would have made the playoffs last year. I don't think so. I don't think we made the playoffs last year if Rich Bisaccia was actually the head coach. I think we'll have the same exact record. Worse.
I know in the group, Chris is the big McDaniels supporter. He's a big
for
fan.
Me, as I see it, so for me, as I see it, is that I have to deal with that. We have to deal with it. And there's no luck in the NFL. It's just not. It's just not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Unfortunately, my internet is unstable due to the
Oh shoot! What's up, AK? I just saw you. I'm like, oh wait, who is that? I know who that is.
I didn't even get a chance to introduce you, bro. But thank you for coming back on the show, man.
Right.
We were just answering some questions in the chat, and they saying that we was like, wow, we was lucky to get all this stuff of that nature. But
I know in the group, Chris is the big McDaniels
what's going on, brother?
Supporter, and I get it. I love Chris's enthusiasm for McDaniels, and I'm with him. He's a genius on the offense, and we got to have faith. And there's still lots to be seen, but it's like you said, he's the coach now. You got to give him time. They took a downfall last year because they all had to learn this new system. It's different, but still, the offense had its moments where that shit was on fire. I still remember that KC game on Thursday night, and just to see our offense, how they were just lighting it up, I was like, damn, this is what we could be. But
I mean, they averaged more points than the year before, and the defense gave up less points than the year before. This so-called playoff team that everybody's so excited about.
It's like the shit that went for us that 2021 year, 2022, where we made the playoffs, that went for us that we made it.
Yeah, bounced the other way.
Last year, it was backwards. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't gonna happen back-to-back seasons where you get that way.
Yeah. And plus, like, everyone wants to always get on McDaniels, and again, he's I don't blame one person for anything. Even though I'm not necessarily the biggest car guy, but I never have went on record said everything's his fault, because it's not. I think it's a team effort. There's a lot of things that go into a team game, but just like I've told you guys before, when McDaniels is calling his plays, the play design is not for the quarterback to throw the ball to another team. So, I mean, that's not the play design. You know what I'm saying? Like, the play design is not for Carr to throw the ball to Renfro when we're driving down and Renfro fumbles and the other team scoops and scores and wins the game for the Cardinals. It's like stuff like that, you know, the coach. I mean, and that's why I love Devontae so much, because when he talks about it, he's clear about it. He said, hey, I love what Josh is doing. He's like, but at some point, you know, it's on us players. You know, we're the ones that's on the field. You know, now Josh will call the plays and get us ready, but at the end of the day, I got to beat my man. That's what football's about, man. So, you know, that there are some things that coaches can do to, you know, put us in bad situations, but you know, this whole blaming McDaniels for everything, I'm not buying it.
The same thing can be said, like, when a lot of people put most of the blame on Derek Carr. Like, I mean, it wasn't all his fault, and it wasn't all McDaniels' fault either. It was a collection of things like that went wrong, unfortunately, for us last season. I guess, like, I hear what you're saying about, like, with your support and why you're so high on McDaniels, and you bringing up how he's done like all this and all that for the offense. For me personally, like, people can bring up reasons why they support him, and I get that, and they can bring up the stats and that. But to me, there's only one stat that matters with a head coach. That's your win-loss record. Everything else doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. So until that improves, and until that gets to a level where it's like, okay, we got something here. Like, I'm gonna still be what's the word I'm looking for? Optimistic with McDaniels. Like, I'm with Spotlight. I never wanted him in the door. Here we are. He's here. Right. But I'm gonna give him a chance, and I'm gonna stay hopeful. You know what I mean? Like, I said this on the last live we were together. I want him to succeed. I want him to win, because if he's winning, we're winning, and that's a good thing, right?
Absolutely. Now, I'm glad most of our fans aren't the decision maker, because they probably would have got rid of Belichick. You know, early on, they probably would have got rid of Pete Carroll. No, seriously, they would have got rid of Pete Carroll right away. Would have got rid of Belichick right away. You know, so you know, at the end of the day, let's let the football people do what the football people do. You know,
that's so true, because Belichick, it took him a while to build.
Now, I can say this.
He had 3 losing seasons.
JT, I understand that we deserve success. I completely understand that, but you're looking at a team, and JT. Let me go back to what JT Sports said. He said, "Man, this franchise got y'all messed up. I hope y'all have more success in the future. Y'all deserve better than Josh McDaniels and Jimmy G. Straight up." Let me tell you something.
Who's his team? Who's his team?
Las Vegas Raiders is Las Vegas Raiders. This is what the Raiders do. Number one, we wait until the last minute to do everything. When it comes to who's going to be our first round draft pick, we wait till the last minute. When Josh McDaniels was available, there was no better coach available at that time. Before, if you look at the lineup of coaches that was around that time that he got hired, all the good coaches was off the board. Number two, we just can't blame Josh McDaniels. He's an offensive guru. But for the last, 20 years, our defense has not been top 15. So who do we blame there? Do we blame Gruden? Do we blame Del Rio? Do we blame Josh McDaniels? What other coaches we need to blame? Because at the end of the day, we know that Josh McDaniels is an offensive guru. He don't call defense.
No, I mean,
like, let's be realistic. The sixth time, the time they went to the Super Bowl, those New England Patriots had good defenses every time,
and the GOAT.
They had good defenses.
Spotlight, just a heads up, your camera's really spotty, man. Like, it's coming in at like 2 frames like a second.
Yeah, because I don't have no computer right now.
Yeah, I was just giving you a heads up.
I have no computer right now.
No, but you know what though? Even when he
I'm
said,
just
man,
gonna be calmed down.
When he says about this franchise, gosh, and that's what makes us fucking different from everybody else. Us is the fucking Shield, the Raiders. They can have whoever. We're still gonna fucking cheer. Our fucking team could be 1 in whatever, and they're still gonna go to the fucking games. They're still gonna watch the games. That's what makes us different. But the thing that gets to me about it is you wanting them to fail just so you can be right and say that McDaniels was ass. You know, you wanting them to fail just because you see how much you needed the old quarterback. Now with the new one, now you're ass. See how it was in him? Like, that's the part that gets me. Like, how the fuck, as a fan, do you want to see your team fail? Even if it's not the dude you want. I mean, I grew up in the 80s. I went through fucking Schrader, Berline, all these dudes, you know? And I couldn't stand them, and I wish we had a better quarterback, but I never wanted my team to fucking fail. Even when we had Marinovic. You know, it was supposed to be this freaking USC LA Loco hero. You know? But oh my God, it's crazy.
It's embarrassing. I just I fired. I'm a Michigan fan.
He's breaking up too, huh?
You sounded like a robot, man. I didn't get a word of that. You sound like R2D2, man.
That's why I just calmed down.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I just calmed down. Like, screw it.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear.
Yeah, I just calmed down because
I can hear
at
you
the
better
end of the
now.
day, like I just told before you got on here, bro. I told my whole story how my computer was completely done over the weekend, and then if it wasn't for Chris and Leo, I wouldn't have had a desktop that I had. But the desktop that I have is not working with my Rodecaster Pro, so now I don't have no audio, I don't have no microphone, I don't have nothing because all that is XLR, and then now I try to get on my Mac laptop and it's just not working out. It's just not working out. So now that's why I'm cammed down, just doing it. I don't want to be cammed down because I want people to see my expressions, but that's just been my weekend, bro.
What's up, Robert? How about you, man? Yeah, I heard your
It just
unfortunate.
I think it's an East Coast thing, man. I think I need to move to the West Coast. I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, Chris is on the East Coast. His internet's kind of like slow too. Yeah. Well, wait, Midwest, right? East Coast. Midwest?
Yeah, Midwest, Ohio. But yeah, like I was saying though, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, and it's embarrassing dealing with some of these fans because they literally, one guy, he literally was saying he can wait.
You sound like T-Pain again. I cannot hear you at all.
Now you sound like T-Pain.
It's hard doing it. Hey, I'm done talking for a little bit.
That's why I just got on my phone. I just got on my phone, Chris, and just calmed down. I said, screw it.
That's just crazy to me, though.
I said, screw it. But yeah, we're going to talk. I want to get into the topics. I only had a few topics. I didn't have really because there's not really much to talk about. Come to Cali. Only problem is that coming to Cali, I can't afford it. That's the only problem with it.
I live in Cali and I can't afford it.
To live in California. Right.
Maybe you guys should take planes and move over here to Australia.
That's telling a lot.
Right, man. I might move to Australia. Shoot. I wouldn't mind going back to King's
I need to know what the rent is like in Australia because I'm ready to leave the States. I'm tired of this.
Yeah, I mean it's expensive here too, but
I got my passport.
There is plenty of opportunity over here. It's a great
Al's Ghost. Speaking of Al's Ghost, bro, we can't forget. I know we didn't meet last Tuesday, but man, that was Al's birthday. It was Al Davis's birthday, bro. That dude, like, I know we talked a lot about.
I was supposed to.
I know we talk a lot about how at the end he wasn't making the best decisions, but as a Raider fan, like, that dude's the image, what he's done for the league. You got to respect everything. I did a little tribute video for Al, but man, that boy, Al Davis, was just amazing, dude. What he did for the league, the AFL, how he stood up against the NFL, and yeah, it was cool to see a lot of Raider fans putting that out there for Al's birthday.
R.I.P. Godfather. I remember the week he died, and the game, the first game they played against
the Houston game.
Yeah, the Houston game. We played a white hot Houston Texans in Houston. Remember they were a Super Bowl contending team at the time with the likes of Andre Johnson, Matt Shaw, actually one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Who was that defensive player they had? Mario Edwards.
DJ Watt, Edwards.
Mario Edwards. Who was the other one? Mario something.
Oh, I know they had Watt.
They had a whole bunch of players. They were a good team. but we went in there into their house. We played lights out, and remember the divine interception play, the last play of the game where they were like 3rd and goal. We had like 10 players on the field because of a personnel change error.
Yeah, we
and
did.
then they snapped the ball. Lamar Houston forced Schaub to scramble to his left. Tyvon Branch came off his player to try and sack him. He tried to lob the ball into the end zone, and out of nowhere, Huff came and just took the ball, snapped it out of thin air.
Bro.
And then the post-game scenes of all the players bawling and Hugh Jackson on his knees, like crying, and even the play call by Greg Papa. You know what I mean? I never forgot that. That was a moment and game that I never forgot. I could speak of it in detail. But yeah, like that's probably one of maybe 2 times that I lost my shit after the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to say that. You know what I mean? Like that was a very emotional moment for me as a Raider fan.
It was. I still get
I
chills
got
right
a
now.
quick
Even
trivia
remember
question
it.
for y'all though.
What's that?
I got a quick trivia question.
That's
for
the
y'all.
one T said. Mario Williams.
When did the Raiders make Al Davis a head coach? What year did the Raiders make Al Davis a coach and a GM of the Raiders? When he first came. When he first came, he was 33 years old, and they made him the head coach and the GM at the time. What year was that?
Oh, dog, I wouldn't know, man. I have no idea. I'm pretty versed in
Say what,
stuff that
Leo?
happened since 2009, but before that, it's pretty shaky.
Al Ghost is actually correct. It's
I
1963.
want to say 63, bro.
How old
Yeah,
was
it was 63. It was 63.
How,
He was
how old
33 years old in 1963.
Oh, wow. And how did we go the year he was head coach?
Listen, Georgia Bird, you said nobody's here that old to remember. Do you got to know your Raider history? If you don't know your history, then you're not a Raider fan.
I was right.
That's a fact.
I was
My
right.
You don't know
history's
your
a spotty spotlight, but-
no. Hear me out. I'm
What?
gonna say this because I became a Raider fan in '98, but my uncle made sure that I knew the history before '98.
Oh, you had to. That's how you understood where the greatness came from.
My uncle made sure that I knew the history before '98. So if you didn't know your history, but by the time you became a Raider fan and you didn't go back and look at the history or why you became a Raider fan, then that's a different talk you gotta have. You know, it's a different talk you gotta have. But
I started being a Raider fan 2009. I know everything in detail since then. Before then, like I know my history, but like it's still pretty spotty. You know what I mean? Like I try my best. I know, you know, most of what you should know about the Raider history, but like there's things like what you just said, like when was Al Davis head coach and GM? That just went right over my head.
And you know what's funny? I asked my uncle that today. Just to see, because honestly he showed me everything about the Raiders, but I'm like, you never said anything how Al Davis became an actual Raider. How did he come into being a Raider? But I did not know he was 33 years old. I did not know that in 1963 he was the head coach and the GM at that time. I don't know what year that he bought the team. That's a different story. But as far as him being a head coach and being a part of professional football for the first time, it was with the Raiders. So
how did he go?
76 when I was 8
as a head coach? How did he go?
How did he? You said how did he know?
Like how
did he go? What was his record?
What was it? Now that I don't.
He was 52, 41, and 3. He coached from 63 until 1965, during which time the Raiders went 23, 16, and 3 as a Raider coach. Yep.
That's not bad.
So as a Raider coach, he went 23
for a first time head coach at that.
That's with the Oakland Raiders. Yeah, his overall was 52 and 41, but with the Raiders, he was 23, 16, and 3. Yeah. Al, the Maverick.
Maverick.
I actually got to go to the mausoleum where he's at. Yeah, that was cool. I got to go up to Oakland and go do a visit all that the site and all that stuff. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Nice.
But
I
that
do not
game.
know why it kicked me out. I have no clue. StreamYard, y'all got to do better.
You got kicked out of your own live?
Yes. How we get kicked out of our own live? That's crazy.
I know, right? I don't think Chris made it back, huh?
I told him to go for his phone and calm down. That's what I told him to do. But hopefully Chris
Oh.
can come back. Because that's why I'm on my phone because honestly, right now, I don't know when I'm gonna be back and running with this computer as far as with my audio interface. That was a $600 audio interface I had for the last 2 years, and you can't tell me that thing is not working because I recently just used it this past Friday, before my computer went down.
Ha! My bad, Chris.
It's all good. Man.
I was over here listening to AK about Al, and I got all emotional, bro. I had to see you in the backstage.
That's all good. Yeah, man. I've been.
Oh, he was backstage the whole time.
The whole time, man.
Told me, bro. I looked down, and there he was.
I guess it's hard to see when you can't see the face. Like you can only see the
right. Yeah, that's what it is.
little
Probably
square box. Because sometimes your logo doesn't work either. When you set a logo for your StreamYard, you get like the gray little face thingy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
First they had a porn tribute for the people.
I saw this on justblogbaby.com and I was like, this could be an interesting topic to talk about. And it says three trades.
Oh my
One,
God,
2, 3 to make the Raiders make the Raiders championship contenders.
This is gonna be funny. Because
Here we go.
we are far away from one player taking it to the Super Bowl, but okay.
So they did, one of them was I don't even know who this guy. I mean, I heard of him, but they said take a chance on Grady Jarrett. That's the first one. Take a chance on Grady Jarrett. And it says one of the areas that the Raiders are hoping to get sorted up this season is the interior defensive line. They need someone to step up, whether it's Bilal Nichols or just Jerry Tillery or a reserve. But this is a spot they have been worse up in that area, and the Las Vegas Raiders need to see someone start to make a difference. The Raiders also drafted Byron Young in the 3rd round, and the fans hoping to see him take over, but eventually as an impact player up front. But the team could also take a chance on trading for Atlanta Falcons defensive tackle Grady Jarrett. But I don't understand though, because this man is 30 years old and he has not been a dominant force.
Exactly.
So I'm confused on this one.
I never even heard of the guy.
I knew who he was when he said it. That's why I was like, "Oh my God, are you kidding?"
As soon as he said it, I was like, "Who? Jeff Jarrett?"
You said Jeff Jarrett.
At what point are we?
That's the first thing that came to mind when he said Jarrett. I was like, Jeff Jarrett.
At what point are we gonna get a linebacker? At what point is anyone gonna say linebacker?
Probably none of these trades are linebacker.
Yeah, like
the
next one. Yeah, the next one's gonna be we're gonna get a wide receiver. Like, come on, man. These dudes are clueless.
We're gonna get
So in his career, Grady Jarrett has 420 combined tackles with 192 assists with 32.5 sacks. And he had 6 sacks last year with 31 assists and 61 combined tackles at the age of 30. But I think I wouldn't go for this either though. I think he's a bit too old. He's at the age of 30.
Not only that, but like, how is like you just said, they didn't even know who he was. How is this dude gonna come in and make us contenders? Like, get out of here. It's not Aaron Donald or anything. Like, damn, bro. I know it's July, but damn, some people with these trades is like, man.
Yeah.
Is that the quote that if we make that trade, we're gonna be contenders?
Yeah. I mean, unless we getting Patrick Mahomes in the trade, no, bro.
So the next one they have on this list is trade for New England Patriots linebacker Jawan Bentley. Now, before I get into him, Jawan Bentley had 125 combined tackles last year.
He could play.
Assists,
he's good.
Three sacks, 1 interception for 7 yards. That's what his numbers was this past season. But according to what they saying is that the Patriots team have known They're not competing for anything more than a wild card spot at best. But if you want to be honest, they'll probably not even have that either because that AFC East is pretty loaded at this point when it comes to this team. But Jawan Bentley is a phenomenal against the run. Last year, he earned a very strong grade of 83.8 from Pro Football Focus in that department. And beyond being a stud in the run game, Bentley is also a great against the pass. He would give the Las Vegas Raiders what they need. He's only 26 years old and has a couple of years left on his deal. If Belichick was open to taking trades, the Raiders should definitely take advantage of pursuing a player like Bentley. What y'all think?
I mean, first of all, the first thing is everybody's gonna bitch. Oh my God, another Patriot. You know.
Oh, I know.
You're gonna have to go through all that. First.
Oh yeah, well, we gotta go through that mess.
But I don't know, man.
I mean, I mean, just looking at the cap. I mean, the Patriots would have over 14 million on dead cap if they. Actually, let me see. If they traded on post. Where's he at?
July.
Where'd he go?
I mean, he's a good linebacker. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, no, he could play, but I just don't think that. I mean, I'd take him for sure. I just don't think Belichick would get rid of him.
I believe in Amari Burney, bro. Amari Burney is my faith guy at linebacker this year.
Yeah, you have been talking about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, don't
hear the rest
wrong,
of these
but...
trade spotlight, please.
Yeah.
Listen, this is just Blog Baby. This ain't me. I ain't writing these articles.
Yeah, I know. I see just Blog Baby.
Yeah, look, sorry, I'm not trying to throw shade at just Blog Baby because.
But no. I mean, I ain't throwing shade, but I'm just like, where they just find anything to write about this
right now,
time.
yeah. Because
they saying that the Raiders should acquire Kendall Fuller from the Washington Commanders in the trade. Now, Kendall Fuller last year,
corner.
Yeah, a corner, yeah. So his stats last year, let me just pull them up for you real quickly.
He can play,
and his age as well, and his age.
Yeah, he's kind of aged. Yeah, he's 28.
Yeah, he's not too old, but he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, he can play.
He would bring some around
that to our mid to late 20s is your prime, isn't it?
Yeah, especially for corners. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He is. I mean, he had 36 solo tackles, 3 interceptions, and 13 pass breakups last season.
Yeah, Fuller's a good corner. Mm-hmm. And he's on the outside, right? That still leaves Hobbs on the inside.
Yeah, that still keeps Hobbs on the inside because you can put Kendall Fuller on the outside.
Yeah, because Fuller's a baller. I see that trade would be like, okay, we can make that happen for a reasonable, not no damn 5 first rounders, Hefe. Out your mind with your 5 first rounders.
You say 5?
Yeah, 6. That's why Hefe said 5.
So when it comes to Kendall Fuller, his Pro Football Focus coverage grade was a 75.4, and he played all 17 games last year.
Yeah,
all 17 games. Bro. So that number one, he's healthy. Number two, you put him with Duke Shelley and David Long Jr. With these other guys. That's not bad to go get Kendall Fuller.
But his cap number is 11.6.
Yeah, see.
11.6, man. That's a strong no for me. That's a hard no for me.
Yeah, because we still over here trying to pay JJ.
Right.
Well, I mean, hopefully JJ is paid by the time we end up trading for anybody.
6 days, bro. 6 days.
You know, I try to avoid talking about it. I try to avoid talking about it with these topics, man, because it ain't really much.
No. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
There's really much you really can't say about it. We just got to see what's going to happen in 6 days, unfortunately.
Can I have a take on that? And I agree with Charles Washington's comment in the chat. And this is all due respect to Josh Vlog Baby and anyone else who does these hypothetical trades. With that said, all these hypothetical trades, it's like they're speaking that into non-existence. It never happens. Never happens. Anytime you hear we should trade for this player or this trade should happen, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
It's non-existence.
I don't expect any trades from the Las Vegas Raiders during the season anyway. I don't expect it.
I think they're set with the roster they have now. They just got to work out the JJ thing, but they're pretty much where they want to be at and see what's going to happen once camp starts.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of what JT Sports was saying about how he felt about Duke Shelley and Divine Diablo, that was the next topic I was going to go into because Marcus Mosher from Raiders Wire, he's saying that Devon Diablo could be named a breakout candidate for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh man, I see that. Especially if he can stay healthy, play the whole year, bro. I'll be excited to see Diablo out there because I liked what I saw last year.
Yeah, I did too. I think one thing I like about him is just everything that you hear about him is, he's a hard worker. He has, even as a rookie, he showed some leadership qualities.
Right.
So he's a guy that's into the playbook. He's going to stay after practice, do film study. And, he not only is he young and he's still learning the game, but he's learning the position as well. So people always, I think, underestimate, being in the same scheme, for more than 1 year. Like, being in that, I mean, especially on defense, when you're, making all those calls and being a linebacker. I know he was wearing the green dot for a while last year, but, and that's why I like hearing in minicamp, that the defense, the communication was a lot better, so they were able to kind of get in and out of their formations and, being able to make the right audibles and stuff like that. So I'm excited for the defense, but I still think we need more linebacker help, to be honest.
I think Devon Diablo's still, for me personally, still needs to prove that he proves that he can play and he's decent. There are still some holes in his games, like his pass coverage last year was pretty bad. And I didn't notice him making any plays in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Like he did okay in run support. I'll give him that. I just want him to solidify that role at linebacker as a good player, as a good starter. You know what I mean? And for me, the time is now. You've had 2 years to develop. Your third year, you really know where a player is at. They either got it or they don't. And hopefully this is the year. And signs are positive so far from what we're hearing out of camp. But I want to see him put it together on the field and become a good player, a good starter, not just a decent starter or a guy who's there by default, but a good player, someone we can build around. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, it's his third season. The time is now.
I hope so,
Hobbs and Morick, same thing.
Linebacker used to be like my favorite position, like the badass dude on our team, and like we haven't had one in so long. I can't even remember the last linebacker jersey I bought. Like, please, Diablo, do good so I can.
Man, to be honest, the last time I was excited about our linebackers was when we had. No, not even that. When we had Kurt Morrison and Thomas Howard.
Yeah, exactly. I think Kurt Morrison's the last linebacker jersey I've ever had.
Yeah.
and we're not counting Khalil Mack, right?
No.
He's an end. Yeah, he's an
end. That's
he's like an in/slash linebacker, but they put him in as linebacker.
Yeah, no. That's
he only played linebacker in his rookie season, and then he moved full time to end. The last time I got excited for a linebacker, I mean, Navarro Bowman was good when he came to us, but he was only here for half a season. I'm a big C.O. Moore guy. I really liked his energy and his play for the 2 years he was with us, but he wasn't with us that long, and we kind of got rid of him after he had a fallout with Jack Del Rio and his injury. But I mean, the last time we had a good linebacking core was probably that year when we had 2009, 2008, Kirk Morrison and Thomas Howard. I mean, 2013, our linebacker crew, you guys might not remember, was actually they were okay. They weren't stellar. I mean, we had who do we have? We had Burris, Roach, Wheeler. Who else? We had Burnett. Like they were okay.
Philip Wheeler. Yeah, I forgot about
it. It was like of our defensive group that. But those lean years, like that was not a bad linebacking crew when you compare it to other years, but even still, it wasn't great. You know,
right. Yeah, Bruce Irvin. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, Bruce Irvin was good. I mean, I knew that his best years was in Seattle though.
Oh, obviously with that boom.
Yeah. But even him, he was like Khalil Mack. Like he was predominantly more of an end.
Yeah, they used him more.
We used him more as a defensive end than as an outside linebacker.
So this is what Tashawn Reed had to say about linebacker Devon Diablo. He said the Raiders linebacker course was riddled with injuries last season, and Diablo fell victim to a season-ending broken arm after impressing across 8 starts. So Denzel Perriman heading to the Texans this offseason, and former Steelers part-time starter Robert Spillane being the only significant linebacker additions the Raiders made. The Las Vegas Raiders need Diablo to emerge in a major way. He bulked up and improved his run support, is skilled in the pass coverage, and was awarded greater responsibility when he received the green dot, which defensive coordinator Patrick Graham will use him to relay play calls going into OTAs.
I hope so. Our front seven is my big emphasis. Like that D line, and if these linebackers can Diablo, get everything going. Whew.
Yeah, I'm not so much worried about the ends room. It's more the interior room. Who's gonna emerge as that guy? Because we've got a lot of players and a lot of potential and young players that we've drafted, but we haven't. The same thing I said about Diablo. We haven't got anybody who's emerged to say yes, he's the guy yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hopefully that can happen. And just to answer Charles Washington's question, statement saying when's the last time we had a dominant D line? Around that same period, around 2011, when we had the likes of Richard Seymour, Tommy Kelly, Trevor Scott, Desmond Bryant. Who else do we have? Cam Wembley. Remember him? He was actually
Cam Wembley. Cam Wembley did all good.
I remember Cam Wembley.
He was a good player.
Didn't we have Mario
those are
Edwards
some of the names
too?
that was the last time, like across the board, we had a defensive line to be feared. They were really good.
And when Mac was here. When Mac was here, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, but even still, when we had Mac, it was just pretty much, it's the same thing we have now. It's like we have great defensive ends, but the interior, when Mac was around, was still pretty. It was okay. It wasn't, you know what I mean? It was still like kind of a question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. I agree 100% when it comes to Devon Diablo. He has to be the breakout starter. He's going to have to be the breakout person for this defense. He's going to have to control this defense and lead it to being something. But speaking of the defense side of the ball, let's talk about the disrespect they put on Max Crosby.
Disrespect?
The disrespect.
Who does?
Yes, the disrespect, because according to NFL coaches and executives, they ranked him the 6th best edge rusher in the NFL. 6, not in the top 5, not in the. I'm sorry, Max.
Okay,
Crosby.
all right.
Yeah,
I'm going to play devil's advocate. I think that's about where he's at. That's about where he's at.
Because you got Bosa.
Yeah, you got Bosa. You got
Cleveland, Garrett.
You got Micah. You got Watt.
That's 4. Do you count both Bosas or only one?
I'm sorry, but you still name Watt, you name Bosa, you name who else? Micah Parsons?
Yeah, Micah.
Yeah, Micah Parsons.
That's 3.
Garrett.
Miles Garrett.
Garrett's ridiculous, man. Garrett's ridiculous.
When he's healthy,
man, Garrett is a man amongst boys. We got to keep that real, man.
Yeah, I think where he's at.
So who's your 5th?
That's why I said, do we name both Bosa brothers or only one?
No, I wouldn't put Joey in front of him.
Only Nick.
Yeah, so I'll go. Yeah, so
Nick Parsons, right?
Yeah. Who else? Who else am I missing?
They put Hassan Riddick over him. According to this article, they put Hassan Riddick over Max Crosby.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, I
mean, I can see both sides of the coin, because I mean, I agree with.
It says Miles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons over him, but surprising to see Hassan Riddick ranked number 5 ahead of Crosby.
Oh no, yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, I would have Crosby.
But it's still, 5'6". It's where he should be, right? Where I see him.
I put him at 5. I'd put him at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To be fair to Crosby, it's like you said, he didn't really have much help. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. And when he did, it was called back to a penalty.
Right. Exactly.
Sounds stupid, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the Rams game, like he did what he was supposed to do, but then a fucking penalty. Like,
and plus, I think, I guarantee that there has to be a stat that he gets held more than anyone else.
That's the
thing. That's the key. Mm-hmm. He just gets held like it's ridiculous.
They need to make that a stat.
I think they do. They have him so low because of the sack number. That's what they're basing it off.
Yeah, because he gets a lot of hurries. He gets a lot of quarterback hurries, but he doesn't get home all the time.
You don't get
but this is what they say though. It says according to Next Gen Stats, He generated 69 defensive stops from the edge position in 2022. That's most in a season since 2016. He also recorded 82 pressures in 2021, which is a next-gen stat era record. Crosby didn't log many top 5 votes, but he was unanimously a top 10 player for voters.
You know what list where you'll see the top defensive ends? Forget the that one. Wait till the top 100 comes out where the players pick the top 100.
That says a lot. Yeah.
And then there you will see the top defensive ends where he lands, bro.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But I just feel like number 6, I'm like, Hassan Reddick?
Yeah, I don't know about no Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick, he was on a good Philadelphia Eagles defense. I get it. He had more help than Max Crosby. He had more help. Simple as that. So that you can't put no help. And people saying Von Miller barely played last year with that torn ACL.
Yeah,
so you can't put him in that situation.
Yeah, no, you can't put Von there.
Von Miller, not now.
Von Miller maybe in his prime, but
But we talking about right now. So I get
now.
it.
No.
Von Miller would be in the same kind of mold as Khalil Mack, like in their primes, absolutely, but not now.
You remember what Von Miller did in the Super Bowl by him damn South that year? Jesus
yes,
Christ.
I do.
That was ridiculous.
Absolutely. Yeah. So,
but you know what about Max? And I was making a video the other day. I haven't finished it, but Duke gets a lot of run stops too. People don't think it's just he don't just put pressure on the quarterback, bro.
He's a complete end.
He's a complete player
end
on that defensive
he
line.
has gotten better in that aspect because that was the problem with Crosby his first 2 years is that he was getting the sacks and the pressures, but his run support was pretty shaky, if I'm going to be honest. But it's definitely gotten better. Is it an elite level? I'd say it's at a very good level. But again, it goes back to the point of that, you got to look at the
support,
the rest of the line as well as the rest of the defense in general. It was basically Crosby trying to be a one-man gang, kind of like Khalil Mack was trying to be when we had him on our roster. You know what I'm saying? So we're not trying like he actually was a one-man gang. You know what I mean?
Right now, JT Sports, I understand that he did well when he was in Arizona. I understand he did well in Carolina. But if you look at the defense that he had in Arizona and the defense that he had in Carolina, it wasn't much support there, even though he still snapped. But it made him even more better when he went to Philadelphia, where he had a Fletcher Cox and a Brandon Graham and a Kaiser White to help him out. But he had a full defense from top to bottom that helped to make him be good that he was last season. Max Crosby been doing this since he got drafted. It's a difference. Hassan Reddick took him a while to get to where he's at right now. Max Crosby has been an impact for the Raiders since he's been drafted. Simple as that.
Since they told him to what he had to do, they told him to go to the weight room, put on some weight, and then you'll see if you'll get some playing time.
We got out of him what we were hoping we'd get out of Cleve Farrell when we drafted.
Right, it was flip. Yeah.
We're so lucky we hit it out of the ballpark with Max Crosby. Because can you imagine what our defense would look like with?
Oh my god!
If we didn't take that chance on Crosby,
I don't want
to. You know what I mean?
I don't want to. That's why I'm excited for this year because he's gonna have Tyree. Hopefully, Chandler Jones, comes back better. And like you said, that interior line. Because if you notice the games where that interior line had that push, he went off even more.
He did. Yeah, he did.
In those games.
Tillery ignited. He ignited that defensive line when we first got him. A lot of people want to just remember his dumb penalty, but he played good ball. That's why, I'm excited for him. At least I think if we can get someone else in the middle, hopefully one of the young guys can step up.
That big guy, what's his name? Young? Is that his name?
Byron Young.
Yeah, Byron Young.
Byron Young.
Mm-hmm. Him too.
How do you guys feel about him? I don't know. When I watch him, he just don't seem that explosive to me, man.
No,
I got to be honest. The guy, if I'm going to consider the second year guys as well, the guy I'm actually the most excited for is actually Nesta Silvera.
Me too. I've been talking about him from the beginning.
He gives me Tommy Kelly vibes. You know what I mean?
Too.
I'm not saying he's going to be Tommy Kelly, but from what I hear and what I've seen, he looks like a bad motherfucker. He plays like one too, and he's still good. Look, let's be real. He's still got to fight for his place on the roster.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Many times the seventh rounder comes in, he either goes to the practice squad or he gets picked up by another team. You know what I mean? Let's just be real. But I don't know. I see something in him. But back to Tillery. He's he. You're right. He did ignite the that defensive line per se when he did come in. I'm gonna look at more of the positives than the negatives, but at the same time, again, like we need someone to emerge as the guy, and hopefully it can be Tillery. Like now that he's had a full off season with us and in camp, and he can be one of those guys that emerges. But it would be ideal if we can have another guy. But we need at least one guy to come out and say, yes, he's one of our guys. Hopefully we can find another one.
I'm
Maybe
hearing
one of
this.
these young cats, and I'm looking at Farrell, and I'm looking at
Farrell. Yeah,
those two cats
Farrell.
are on those. You know what I mean? I didn't see much, if anything, from them. And to take two defensive tackles in the draft when we just took them last year, for me, that says a lot about the coach's faith in their development and what they're showing so far. So
they need to stop.
I'm looking at those guys.
What happened to
I'm telling you,
Phylon?
y'all need to stop sleeping on Matthew Butler, Patrick Graham. Put him
I
on
knew
the
you were
field.
going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. You and your Tennessee guys, man.
Right, hey,
I'm an
I get
SEC guy.
that
You
way with
gotta
my
put
Notre
Neil
Dame guys.
Farrell. You gotta put Brian Young. You gotta put those hogs in the middle and let them play. Not no healthy.
They got to deserve it. They got to play in.
Yeah, they got to earn it, man. They got to earn it. Yeah, they got to earn it, man.
Which they will, but don't make them a healthy scratch when they're not a healthy scratch.
Hey, I mean, they went out in the middle of the season and got Tillery for a reason.
Right, that
because we don't have no experience at the defensive line. You don't like Bilal Nichols, and Bilal
I
Nichols
sure
is
don't.
experience.
I sure don't.
We don't have no experience defensive linemen. We just don't.
It goes back to what I said. They drafted two more this year in this year's draft. Why would they draft two more defensive tackles if they're confident in the young cats that we drafted last year?
I didn't like the fact that
I don't
like the fact that we went after two defensive tackles in the draft. I didn't like that. We
didn't just get one. We got two.
Because
I'm talking about this past year. I didn't know why we went out and got Byron Young.
Yeah.
I watched Byron Young play. Yes,
because the other two aren't going to last, bro.
He could be one thing I can say about Byron Young. He could be a healthy scratch. Now I can say that about him. If you put on the tape and compare Matthew Butler to Byron Young, you could be like, "Oh, I want Matthew Butler on the squad."
Yeah, Byron Young
doesn't. Butler than I had Byron Young, but Byron Young's going to make the team. He's going to make the team, unfortunately.
I hope I'm wrong about Byron Young. He just doesn't move me when I watch him. He just doesn't, man. But maybe they see something that I don't. But just like AR said, like I definitely think that what's his name? Yeah, Silvera. He just has some dog in him. Like you can just tell he's just mean. He's he's just gonna be nasty in the middle, and that's what we need.
He looks mean, he plays mean, and we need that. We haven't had an intimidator on that inside. I mean, Darius Phylon, he was an intimidator.
Phylon, that was my
boy.
Dude.
He played it. Now he's gone.
I don't understand that.
I did like Phylon.
Going back even further, someone of the likes of like Tommy Kelly or Richard Seymour, you know what I mean? A guy is going to intimidate that opposition, you know what I mean? Like running up the middle at will, like they have been like for the last how long now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Remember, what was his name? What was that real big dude? Turdell Sands, I think that was his name. Remember him? It was like Turdell Sands. He played. I think he was back when he was real big. Like he was like 6'7". I think he may have been part of that Warren Sapp line, if I remember right.
Big old dude, right?
Yeah, he was like stupid big. Yeah, he was like stupid big. Yeah.
I remember him.
Yeah, he was part of that Lane Kiffin team, I think.
You love you some Lane Kiffin. I know that for a fact.
Man, he be liking the weirdest coaches.
I like the X and O's guys, man. I do. I mean, that's just the kind of coach I like. The X and O coaches, man.
I get you, bro.
Yeah. Hey, and like I always say, everybody give Lane a hard time, but Lane wanted to draft Calvin Johnson, and he wanted to trade for Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, I've seen those.
That's what I'm saying. But Al wouldn't let him do it. So then him and Al, they were bickering back and forth. So it's like people can say what they want about Lane, but he had a vision. Just imagine that. That's all I'm saying.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point on those two names alone.
Made a mistake passing up Jalen Carter, or did the character concerns make him a big risk of the draft?
I think Carter landed the best spot he could have, honestly.
Yeah.
Because of the people he's around, the support he's going to have there. because all the shit that was going on, like man, like yeah,
He would have been a risk for us. He would have been a risk.
huge risk for the Raiders.
We touched up on this in the last live. We just weren't in a we're not in a position to take any more risk with
Yeah,
draft.
absolutely.
Right. Agreed.
I mean, yes, like he fits what we need in that interior. I just talked about we needed like an intimidator, a bad motherfucker, and Jalen Carter on the tape and is everything. And that he has the talent to be the next big thing as an interior player at the next level. Unfortunately, with all these off the field issues that have been creeping up throughout the draft process, maybe even before that, like our team especially we couldn't afford to make that risk. So that's why we went the safe route and went with a guy like Tyree Wilson. I mean, Carter's in a good spot where, you know, with the Eagles, like if it does flame out with Carter, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter for them. But if we missed on that pick, it really like that hurts us. That hurts us badly. And with our recent history with first round draft pick misses, I'm looking at Arnett. I'm looking at friggin' Leatherwood, Farrell.
Oh my God, Leatherwood.
Brandon Farrell wasn't a head case, but you know what I mean. Like
not Leatherwood.
Still goes by what I'm trying to say. And even before that, like we're not in a position to take that gamble, unfortunately. And that's why we did.
I'm tired of taking risks. I'm tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to try to put my camera up again, so we'll see what happens.
Here we go.
Hold on, I'm on my phone now, though. So I'm gonna get off here and then I'm gonna try it.
He said the whole Carter thing. Like, are you guys glad we didn't go quarterback?
Yes, I'm glad that we didn't go quarterback because every mock draft that I had, we was picking Will Levis, and I did not want that scrub.
Yeah, or say they would have traded up, like to get one of the dudes. Like, what do you think?
mean, if we would have
I would
traded
have
up,
liked Hendon Hooker or one of those other guys in the second round. So
you would like Hooker? Okay, all right.
Oh, but that's the crazy thing though, because I was thinking that the Raiders was going to get Hendon Hooker in the second round until Detroit was two slots before us, and they went and got him before they wouldn't got him before they did. I think that the Raiders was going to get Hendon Hooker if he fell to us in that second round. I really felt that.
Yeah.
But the Lions got him before us. I was like, God damn it, you Detroit Lions.
But he went he went in the third, didn't he? He lasted a while.
Who, Hooker?
Yeah, no, Hooker went the second, didn't he?
No, second. He went in the second to the Lions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was there for a while. There was another guy that was there for a while. I mean, I went on record before the draft. I said, no matter what happens, it's going to happen. We're going to draft a quarterback. We haven't done that for how long now? But during the Derek Carr era, like we only drafted one quarterback. That was Connor Cook.
We talked about
we haven't
that
had a young guy in the room
that
drafted and groomed to be to develop and see what happens. If he's a backup, so be it. If he can be the face of the franchise, so be it. If something happened to Derek Carr, here we are now. We don't really have a young guy now that we just drafted one. You know, what's his face? O'Connell. You know what I mean? And am I excited for? I'm gonna give him a chance, but you know, I'm not buying into that he's the next coming to Joe Montana or anything. Like I hear a lot of hype about him being. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's my new number 4.
Oh my God! Now when you wear that jersey, you just gotta put tape on it and put his last name on it.
You know what? As big as a fan as I was, I don't have his jersey. I only have the T-shirt with the number. That's all.
What you do?
Even I got a card jersey.
Get a marker.
I bought a color rush when I was in
a marker and just cover it up and then just tape O'Connell on the back. I think that would be hilarious. But I want to get into a little bit of the roster battles to keep an eye on going into training camp, because training camp is 2 weeks, damn near 2 weeks away. But for me, what I want to look into, and I think me and Chris is probably on the same agreement on this, is offensive guard.
Yeah,
I think offensive guard. I think offensive
rank. Oh,
you talk about right guard specifically?
Say what? I'm sorry.
So
I think that's the only open spot. I think
you're talking about right guard specifically, because doesn't Parham have that left guard? Well, what he should have it sewed up for now.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Because I know they still have they have second year Dylan Parham, which started all 17 games in his rookie season.
Alex Barr.
So they had him. So Then you have your, at tackles, you got your Colton Miller and Jermaine Illuminor there. So, but this is who they have on the roster as of right now. Is a host of players on this, like Alex Bars, Muti, Greg Van Ruten, Dalton Wagner, undrafted rookie who could push for a 53-man roster. But I think I have to agree with Chris. I think that offensive guard position is going to be something to really look for going into training camp and seeing in the preseason who can take that. But outside of being offensive guard, what other, would do how y'all feel about Andre James? Let's be honest here. How y'all feel about Andre James at this point?
I'm not a big fan, but I don't want to move on from him at this point. I'd rather keep some continuity on the line.
Yeah.
Considering he's the one that's going to be making all the calls and all that. Like, the last thing we need is a new center trying to block for Jimmy G. Like, I need some kind of continuity, at least on the left side of the line. So I'll keep him. But he has to get stronger, man. He just gets manhandled and pushed back. He's more suited for a zone blocking scheme, but he has to get stronger for the power.
I think at the very least he's a decent starter, and he's only been getting better since he's only been a starting center for the last 2 seasons. I mean, he had a rough start in his first season, but he's gotten better over time.
He has.
Hopefully, he can keep trending upwards. I mean, we don't need to make another hole where it's not necessary, and he does a decent enough job to have that job sewed up for now. I mean, people were talking about plugging in Dylan Parham at center, but I don't believe that's the right move. And he had his chance when we remember we missed Andre James for a little bit of time last year, so we shoehorned in Dylan Parham to be the center, and it was pretty bad. It was actually making me miss Andre James, but that's not really shade on Parham, because I mean, look, rookie, you know what I mean, he was thrust into a situation. I mean, he needs time, you know what I mean? And he did a good enough job at guard. Mind you, he still needs work, but he showed enough promise to be the guy moving forward at left guard and as a backup guy anywhere in the interior. But as far as Andre James, look, he's not Rodney Hudson. I guess that's where we're kind of used to, having Rodney Hudson being the guy. So, it's a very high bar that he set. He's not even Stefan Wisniewski. We had Wisniewski before. Yeah, Wisniewski, one of my guys. He was a good center. Not quite that elite center, but he was still very nasty. Good.
He was dirty.
Hold on. Speaking of Wisniewski, because this is a shout out to my boy Randall, and me and him was talking on TikTok. Why isn't he considered for the Hall of Fame?
Are you talking about his uncle Steve Wisniewski?
Steve?
Yeah, the original. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the original.
I was talking about Stefan.
You're talking
about
the
OG. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm talking about Steve.
The OG.
The OG one. Yeah, no, he's
but even still, his nephew was a good player in his own right, and a very good center when we had him before Rodney Hudson.
Yeah.
So Andre James, he's not quite those guys, but he's still good enough. He's still decent.
Yeah, I think I like with Chris. I want them to be together. Like, if you would ask me last year when I saw all these names, who the fuck are these guys? Like, oh my God, Carson ended up getting killed on this line.
Continuity goes a long way.
Like, how is Jacobs gonna run the damn ball? Then as the season went along, I'm like, oh shit, these dudes are getting it together. Like, do your thing, fucking coaches. Okay. Like, and keep them together.
Yeah.
Like, I know people want we should sign another guard. Like, look at where the rank. Look at this. But like how you said, okay, they're getting better. You can see them getting better, and hopefully they come back into this camp, in better shape. And Randall just said, James looked like he's in great shape. Like, keep them together, let them keep growing, bro.
And how old is James? He's still
young. He's probably young.
Like
he's probably 26.
Mm-hmm. And offensive linemen be playing.
I can find out right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Like his the prime of his career. Like, if it hasn't started already, you know what I mean?
And to be honest, I don't care. Nobody says Tom Cable.
He's 26.
Tom Cable is a overrated offensive line coach.
Yeah,
he gets so much credit, but he was bad as an offensive line coach for us. Even when he first came, I think Lane Kiffin's the one that hired him because he was the one that switched everything over to a zone.
The zone blocking for
Yeah, he switched that over, and the best thing he ever did was move Robert Gallery from tackle to guard. But even then, I just never thought he was a good offensive line coach, and he's always been known as a guru, and he just never shown it. And our current O-line coach is way better. And plus I think he's going to develop guys as well. So keep your eye on Natane Moody, man, the guy that we got from Denver. They say he's strong as an ox. His biggest thing is because they say he's one of the strongest in the league. He just has to learn the position and kind of get more polished. But offensive guard, that's one of those positions that there's not that much to it once you get it. And you're covered on both ends. So as long as you're not getting beat just physically, you'll be okay. And I'm excited for him. I think he's going to be the missing piece, honestly.
Yeah, he's from accounts, he's the name. Like if you're talking about right guard specifically, that is the favorite to kind of emerge as the guy. But again, that's yet to be seen. I mean, it's still a position to fight for between the likes of Moody, a guy who cops a lot of flack, who I try and defend and give him a little bit of leeway is Alex Bars. I know he gets a lot of criticism for his play, maybe rightly so, but for me, it's like, look, take this into perspective. When we had him in as a guard, originally when he first came in to start, he was actually doing a pretty decent.
He did good at first.
We lost him to injury.
Yeah,
our interior was decimated at one point in the season where this is just what I believe. We kind of had to hurry him back and say, look, we've got no one else. Go in and do your thing, and that's where he started to struggle. That's where his struggle started.
Good point. That's a good point.
Rushed him back from injury. That's why I'm kind of giving him a little bit of a pass on that. Yes, he did struggle, but I believe he was still hurt and playing hurt.
Good point. Yeah, because he did. Because honestly, he was the first day starter. First game starter.
Who, Alex Bars?
Yeah, I think he was. He was a surprise.
But he was doing a good job.
I thought it was
a decent
Parker
enough job before
first.
injury.
Now Parker was a right tackle.
Okay.
Parker didn't make the we lost him in preseason. Remember game 1?
Yeah, and then they did like a musical chairs trying to figure that out because I think they had Illuminar. If I remember right, I think they had Illuminar backing up Bars, and then they end up moving Illuminar to right tackle and kept Bars. But then they kept trying to get what's his name? What's the guy, the rookie last year from Ohio State? No, Mumford. Yeah. How y'all feel about him? I got some more from him.
I think he's a dog.
I definitely don't think he's a dog.
I think he's a dog, but I just feel like he was moved around the musical chairs a little bit too much.
He was
during the game. Like one time you had him at guard, next time you had him at tackle. He's really good at his position. I think he plays guard, if I'm not mistakenly. But I know that Thayer Munford, from watching him at Ohio State and looking at his film, I think he's a dog. He went up against some of the best defensive ends and defensive tackles in the Big Ten. So
I'm not a big.
It's going to be all about continuity. It's going to be about how that continuity is going to come with the depth as well. I don't think Mumford is a starter right now, but give him like another year or two.
I like Illuminar. I like Illuminar
and Miller on the ends.
If Illuminar can just cut out the penalties, Illuminar plays solid, man.
Yeah,
he plays solid.
I will say with Mumford, like to be fair to Mumford, I mean, we got him in the 7th round. Like I highlighted before, a lot of these guys, a lot of years when we draft 7th round guys, they just go to the team. They don't even make the team.
That's true.
He actually got some snaps here and there, and from what I noticed, he didn't do too badly. I mean, like if I'm going to be honest, like I noticed. I'm not saying he's going to be this, but when Colton Miller and Brandon Parker and Alex Leatherwood, when they were rookies and playing at tackle, they struggled a hell of a lot more than what I know that Mumford
Miller did.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So he at least showed. Granted, he didn't light the house on fire, but he didn't. He was okay, and okay is better than what those guys struggled in their rookie season. So that he still has time to trend upwards, and who knows what can be made out of Mumford, but. I'm willing to
That's
give him a
true.
little bit more time, and I think there's potential there. You know what I mean?
I
Especially for a
remember
seventh round
Cole
guy.
Miller getting ate up by Bosa and Von Miller and them. Oh my god, yeah, his rookie
Yeah,
year.
you remember those guys first years? Like,
Yeah.
Those
Colton
first
Miller,
years
he
were like,
struggled.
bro.
Brendan
Yeah.
Parker struggled.
Yeah.
Alex Leatherwood, say less.
Yeah.
Oh
You know what I
god,
mean? Like,
yeah.
you can't say the same
Oh
for
my-
Mumford.
Yo,
Yeah.
Alex Leatherwood was one of those ones that I. If anybody in this chat remembers that draft that I did, I was freaking ballistic. I wanted to turn the live off. That's how bad it was that we went and got Alex Leatherwood. I'm like, he's not the 17th best player in this draft.
But the
Like, are
thing
you
is,
I had the
kidding
same
me?
reaction, Spotlight. I had the same.
Oh
you know,
my
reaction myself.
I was upset, but the thing is, because you know everyone loves their PFF stuff, but as a run blocker, he was the top rated guy. PFF as a run
blocker, yeah, but
Yeah.
pass blocking, oh my lord,
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was
Well,
soft- he was
yeah. I'm
soft
just
as
saying,
my
coming out of
Miles
college,
Brownies,
so
man,
right.
please.
My moment for me when I was done with Leatherwood was last year's preseason? I think,
yeah,
last
he was
year's
getting dogged.
preseason.
He was getting
Do you,
dogged.
do you remember that game where he was getting a lot of snaps to try
Yeah.
and just do something, even
Do
against
something.
the second or
Show
third
By
us.
string?
the Hall of Fame
I
game, he was
cannot
terrible in the
I
remember.
Hall
was
of
at
Fame
the
game.
I
Hall
don't
of
think
Fame.
no. I don't think it was the Hall of Fame. I think it was like the third game of the preseason where on consecutive plays, the first play he got beaten
bull rush.
by a speed rush by like a third string defensive end.
Yeah,
You
I
know what
remember
Like
that. Yeah.
And on the very next play, he got pushed backwards
All the way back. Yeah.
right
All the
into
way
All the
the
way back.
quarterback by like the second string nose tackle on consecutive plays.
Yeah.
That was my moment where I said, "No,
I remember
I've
that.
seen enough. I'm done."
I
with him."
remember that.
Was that
I
against the
remember that.
Rams preseason game?
Huh?
It could have been, but it
I
was
think it was the
bad.
Rams preseason game.
It was so
Mhm.
bad.
Oh my lord, it was horrible.
Yeah, I remember that. That was tough to watch.
Yeah, bro.
And
Like,
then he always
the
had
Hall
that.
of Fame
beat
game,
by
he was
speed
getting
rush, but then to
dominated.
get
He was
me
getting
bullied
dominated
like
the
that.
Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
But
and that was
other
against
two-
the backups. To your point, Albert, that was against backups.
No,
The
that was
backup and
the
third
third
string.
string. That was like the third string. That wasn't even like
on.
Right,
Yeah.
that was like backups to the backups, bro.
Yeah,
that was
because
like players that went from the USFL to the NFL and still was a backup to a backup to a backup.
Oh man.
no, the guy who did that to him is working at McDonald's right now, flipping burgers. Like that dude is never like it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's always had issues with his feet and speed rushes and that, but like to get beaten that badly
That
and get
bad.
put on his butt, like even if you had him in the interior, there is no excuse for that to get pushed back right into your quarterback by a second, third string guy. Nah,
Right.
that's
Right.
inexcusable. You're done, man. You're done, son.
You don't have the dog.
I'll tell you, so many people try to give that man a benefit of the doubt. It was ridiculous.
because you had to. You were hoping
I
he would
did.
finally get it. You know,
I told
like,
the Raider Nation.
damn.
I told.
I knew he
told
was
you so.
horrible, but it's like I said, I don't.
I told the
dog
Raider
on
Nation.
them.
I said, I bet you in the 1 or 2 years he will be gone from the Raiders. And look where he at. I called it.
Gone 1 or 2 years later. Damn it.
Right. That entire draft class in itself is just not there anymore.
But just a little bit of
It's just not
objectivity
good.
with Leatherwood. Like, I mean, it was obviously, it seemed like he was playing like mentally and emotionally. He was just all the
Not
way
there.
just checked out. He just wasn't there. His confidence was shot. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it showed on the field. You know what I mean? Like when you're
Yeah.
confident and you mentally you're just not there. Like it affects your play, and it really showed in that preseason. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
very unfortunate.
So the next position that I had, I'm really looking forward to. I like we talked about earlier. I definitely want to see the cornerback position. I definitely want to see the competition between Duke Shelley and David Long. Two veterans that came over from their prospective teams last season. And then we still got Nate Hobbs, Amik Robinson, the rookie Jacorian Bennett. And then we still have what's the other guy's name? I said Nate Hobbs already.
Amik,
No, I said Amik, Nate Hobbs, Amik Robinson, Duke Shelley,
Tyler
David
Hall, Sean
Long,
Webb.
Sean Webb.
Webb. You talking about
Sean
Sam
Webb?
Webb,
Webb or
Tyler
Sean
Hill. Tyler Hill.
Tyler Hill.
Yeah. I want to really
Tyler
see the
Hall.
competition with all these.
Tyler Hall,
I
yeah.
think that's gonna be very exciting to watch in training camp. Who y'all looking forward to seeing? Who y'all think going to stand out at the cornerback position in the training camp?
Well, I'm hoping Nate Hobbs. Again, much like what I said about Divine Diablo, I'm going to say about Nate Hobbs. Hopefully, he emerges to be the guy on the outside because that seems like that's going to be the move. We're going to put him on the outside. Now, granted, he played fantastic at that nickel role. He thrived at nickel. He's probably been the best nickel corner we've had on our roster for the longest time. Now, that's an area where we've struggled.
Yeah,
but then due to circumstance, we had to move him to the outside. Granted, he was injured, but he struggled. So. For me, he still needs to prove to be the guy on the outside, and that looks like that's going to be the move. Whether I like it or not, I wish we kept him at the nickel. Why move a player away from a position they thrive? But here we are. So I'm hoping he puts it together. But much like what I said about defensive tackle and linebacker, I'm gonna say the same thing about cornerback. We need a guy to emerge and be the guy and say, yes, we can build around him because right now we've got a lot of talent there, but it's still a position that's unproven, and we need someone to emerge.
Yeah,
Hopefully
we need
two guys.
Yeah, we do. And I honestly, I keep saying it. Just watching last year, I really like the dog in Sam Webb and Tyler Hall. Again, those guys probably have, they probably don't have a high ceiling, but you could tell it's something about guys that got that work ethic and they go out there and really give it their all. I mean, even Amik Robertson, I'm not a big fan of him, and honestly, I think he needs to be the man out, man. He needs to be the man out. But I don't know, man. Something about Tyler Hall, I want to see him get some playing time, man.
I think those three guys are going to be competing for that final roster spot in the cornerback room. Tyler Hall, Webb, and Amik Robertson. I think two of those guys are going to be gone or try to stash on the practice squad.
I was looking at that the other day too, with Shelley, Long, and then Faison, they can do the outside and say Hobbs goes back to the inside. And then you got dudes like Tyler Hall that are coming up. Amik might be the odd man out.
Oh, I think he definitely will.
Yeah,
and Dorian Bennett. So that's 4 or 5 guys you listed before the likes of Amik, Tyler Hall, and Webb. I mean, are we really going to kick 6 or 7?
Yeah. But Long may not make it. I mean, because you got to think even the thing is what I like about this regime, they're going to make them earn it. Because if you think about,
love that.
The first who was our first free agent we got last year, that wide receiver that we got from the Chiefs. He didn't even make the squad.
Yeah,
Robinson. Yeah,
Robinson.
You know what I'm saying? He was I think he was the very first free agent that we even picked up, if I remember.
He do well with his new team.
Yeah, he went to the Ravens and balled a little bit,
right?
Yeah, he was balling. So, but so that's one thing I do like. Hey, let them go out there and compete. The best man wins, man. Yeah. So those David Longs, they're not a lock.
And then the rookie,
It goes back to what I'm saying. You know what I mean? We got talent there, but nobody that's emerged that we can say, you know what? It's like Max Crosby. He's solidified that division.
Yeah, that's your spot. Yeah,
that's what I mean. That's his spot. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's a guy that we've been trying to build around. You know what I mean? And just about to be honest, every positional group outside of him is up for grabs, or we still need somebody to emerge and say, yes, he's the guy. You know what I mean? I hope we find at least one or two more.
We go get a veteran quarterback that's not there for 1 year and then leave. We have a lot of corners walk out or get traded. You know what I'm saying? So we let Rock Ya-Sin walk, and then even the year before that, we had Casey Hayward. So it's
but that's what they do though.
Those were scheme fits though.
Yeah, and plus those are prove it deals more than anything. It's
Hayward was getting older. Granted, he probably had, in my opinion, the best season from a cornerback since for a long time. And Rock Ya-Sin, he was hurt. He was okay. He was decent, but is he a true number one? In my opinion, no, he's not. You know what I mean?
He was playing good. He got hurt though. He was playing good ball.
Yeah, I'm not denying he wasn't, but I'm saying he's still not
the true number one. Yeah,
we've been looking for this number one. Jesus Christ, going back to Nnamdi Asomugha.
Yeah,
you know coming out. And we haven't had that true lockdown. I like David Emerson. You remember Emerson?
Yeah, Emerson.
He was good for a minute until he got injured, came back, and teams figured him out. But it's still,
and he was non-draft. He was a low
I
draft.
hated TJ Carey. I hated TJ Carey.
I like TJ
I like
Carey.
TJ Carey.
I like TJ
He
Carey.
was a
I like
scrub.
him.
Please.
Nah, I liked him, man.
He was
Carey
good.
good.
He was
Yeah,
a good
he
nickel.
was all right.
Was good.
But you gotta think
Nah,
that
I wasn't
was
a fan
back
of
when we
TJ
had no
Carey.
pass rush though. So we were
They
asking
would
those
be
guys
out there
to
forever. Yeah, they're covering forever.
Hang on, Carey was there when Mac he was in the same class as Mac.
I thought he was there right after.
Was
right?
he?
I think so. TJ Carey. Yeah, I think he was part of that 2014 draft class.
Let me double
I
check.
don't remember.
Yeah.
7th rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But that's why I don't even think like people are like, oh, bring Marcus Peters. Like, yeah, he's Marcus Peters, but he's an older one. Like, is he really gonna solidify being that number one corner if we bring him in at this point right now? I say just let them play it out with who they have now.
Yeah, but you know how these Raiders fans are.
Yeah,
They,
2014.
I know.
they see that one star.
They
that's a
want the
free
name.
agent. Oh, is the Raiders going to get him?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he was a
The
7th round
secret
pick.
free agent that's coming in.
He was
Right, the savior.
he was a 7th round pick in the 2014 draft.
Oh yeah, see.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, so
Right.
he was on the roster when we had the likes of Khalil Mack.
He was on that
and
2016
Bruce Evans.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
Because he played for the Raiders, Browns, Colts, Baltimore Ravens, and Panthers.
Yeah.
Never a great player, but he was a decent
He
nickel.
was decent corner. Yeah.
A nickel corner. He was decent.
I was not a big fan of him.
And he was a 7th rounder spotlight, so you got to take that into consideration. Put some respect on my boy TJ.
Right?
Carey.
On a 7th round pick, I guess.
He ain't the best, but
Come on, taking considerations.
Considering what we've had at corner, like I wish Amik was
Yeah.
taller. I think if Amik was taller, he'd be our number one corner.
Hey, I agree there because Amik got some dog in him.
Amik
He
got
just,
hell. When I saw him against Judry in that Bronco game, when he went out talking to him and he goes, okay. And then after that, you didn't see him anymore, bruh.
Yeah.
I would have laughed at that notion before last year. I was one of his heaviest critics.
Yeah.
Up until last year, I wanted him gone before the before the regular
Yeah,
season.
me too.
I didn't think he was going to
I
make
thought
it.
he was one of the guys I had on the bubble. He was one of the guys I had
He
on the bubble.
made a
going into
believer
last
out. He
season.
made a believer out of me like last year. I
After
think
that
like
Denver
the
game?
thing that he learned to do was, yeah, he took his punches in previous years, but what he learned last year was how to punch back. For all the licks he took in all those games, he was able to make plays to be on the other side of the ledger. You know what I mean? And I went as far as to say, like, if there was a most improved defensive player on the Raiders roster last year, I would have given that award to Amik Robertson.
Yeah, I like him. The only thing is his height. You know what I'm saying? That's
the height. Yeah,
right,
I agree.
height.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn height.
So,
that's why I'm not in
mean,
the NFL. Damn height.
And basically, it's not really. Say what?
No, I was telling you, I was like, is that why you're not in the NFL? Because of your height?
Yeah, that's why.
It's unfortunate because you can teach all those other things, but you can't teach height.
You can't teach height, bro. You can't. As a corner, especially with these 6'2", 6'4" receivers. Oh my God.
At the same time, you can't teach height, and you know, you can't say that Amik lacks height. He definitely plays with a lot of it.
Yeah, he does.
So I want to do these two position groups real quick. The Raiders Fire, where they ranked the top running backs by the top running backs in the AFC West.
Oh, you're gonna get Chris
running back. So running back is running back duos. It's running back duos in the AFC West. So I'm gonna go the top 5 that I have here. Actually, 4. It's 4. I'm sorry. It's 4 because
there's only 4 teams in the West.
Yeah, don't mind me. Listen,
like, wait, what?
Listen. Yeah, my mind has just been all over the place. Denver Broncos at 4 with Samaj Piron and Javonte Williams as number 4 in the AFC West. Then you have Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire as number 3 for the Kansas City Chiefs. And of course, Austin Eckler and Joshua Kelly for the Chargers, and Josh Jacobs and Zamir White for the Raiders as 1.
It's Josh Jacobs and whoever
it's
else.
Josh Jacobs, and that's it. And everybody else. Honestly, if we didn't have Josh Jacobs, I would put it at number 4.
TJ Carey name, y'all gonna put some respect on Zamir White, man. Y'all
not till I see it.
Yeah, but TJ Carey at least did some things.
Yeah,
Zamir hasn't done anything so far.
I haven't seen it in Zamir in the NFL. Yeah.
I mean, when the man
Yeah,
only had 10 carries in 17 games, what you supposed to
hey,
expect?
you make the most out of those 10 damn carries.
Zamir White will get his chance spotlight. I'll give you that.
He
Like,
will. This year he's
That's
gonna
all my
don't
point. I
get
just want him to
twisted.
get his
I'm still
shot.
willing to give him a
That's it.
chance. He just hasn't proven it to me yet.
No, I'm not saying don't give him a shot. I like Zamir. I like him as a running back, and I want him to be that number 2. But I'm saying when you rank that list, it's number 1 because of Jacobs. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's why they're number 1 in the AFC West. Yeah.
And if we didn't have Jacobs, we'd be number 4.
But I'm
Right, exactly.
Gonna be honest.
Though.
With
Yeah.
the body of work
I
that
think
we've
I'll
got so
re-rank
far,
this.
number 4.
I think I'll re-rank this running back list differently, though.
Mm.
If that's the case, if he's number 1 because of Josh Jacobs, then you could put the Raiders at 2. Because Isaiah Pacheco definitely came in as an undrafted free agent and balled last year.
Not as hard
when
as
Clyde
Jacobs.
Edwards-Helaire came in. He balled.
He did, but not as hard as Jacobs. He didn't have to.
Not anymore, Chris.
He did. He was the number 1 back. He came in and stole that. He came in and stole that starting position from Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jerick McKinnon.
Who
As
were
an
on
undrafted
the
free
way
agent, you
down.
made the team, and the man almost had 1,000 yards last season.
So that man took
No.
advantage of his touches and he kept playing.
That is true.
Right?
That's what Zamir didn't do.
Thank you.
That's
But
what he
Isaiah
did.
Pacheco,
That's what we're wanting them to
It's
do.
not like they came into that year. We're gonna give the ball to Isaiah this many times. No. Every time they gave the man that ball,
You're
and
like, damn, let's do it again.
Shit, let's do
Yeah.
this again. Oh shit, let's do this again.
Yeah.
Granted, we didn't need to because Josh Jacobs was balling
that
out
was-
at
he
an
didn't have
all-elite
to
level.
because-
And
you know
that's
what
yeah,
I mean?
that's why I think, and I feel like I really think if we don't pay him, we gonna run him right into the ground. I'm sorry.
Well, they're
He
gonna
could be
do
one
that
of them. We could be
regardless,
one of them
whether
running.
they pay him or
Josh
not.
Jacobs is. I'm gonna be honest with you. Josh Jacobs is gonna be one of those running backs that he's going to get the big payday, and we're not going to see those type of numbers again. I bet you that.
So Chris is
Well,
gonna get
that's
mad
that's
at you
why
right now.
hopefully to your point, Spotlight, Zamir White can emerge as that
Yeah.
good spell
But
back
but that-
to give Josh
Like,
Jacobs
if you wanna
someone
keep
that we
Josh
can lean
Jacobs
on.
healthy
You know what I mean?
and playing for a longevity a year, you can't have that man have your second tier running back just only have 10 carries. Like Clyde Edwards-Helaire before he had hurt had about 40, 50 carries. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you got to balance it out for your players to stay healthy, especially your top player, because if Josh Jacobs is getting 300 rushing attempts a season, he's not going to last.
You got to earn it, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotta earn it. I
No,
mean, he
I'm
was
not saying
playing
you
behind
got
the
to earn
likes
it,
of
but I'm
Abdullah
saying
and
you
even
have to
Bolden
cut.
were getting snaps before Zamir.
But
Exactly.
we're not in the league with number
Brandon
one
Bolden
running back. It's
sucks.
not the thing anymore. We're not in the league with the number one running back. It's not a thing anymore. It's not. That's just me. I just
Yeah, but
want
it
him.
needs to be when you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into that conversation because we did have a quarterback, but we never.
I was gonna
We
tell
did have a
you
quarterback.
that,
Our
Chris.
defense has been terrible for the last 25 years. So, I mean, it don't matter who could you put at quarterback. If your defense still giving up 35 points a game, I don't care who's back there. I don't care if Rich Gannon back there. We ain't winning no games if our defense giving up 35 points a game. I do not care.
We did do that in 2016. We were doing
Right?
that pretty well.
Till he went down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you follow what you call it. What are they called? Silver and Black Report, but I was going to share this with you, Chris, because I know you're a big Jacobs person too. I am too. But he said this. He's about to be as blunt as it gets. Raider fan. He's a Raider fan. Y'all hear this. Jacobs had a good season, but he isn't the best back in the league, and it's not debatable. Derrick Henry, CMC, Chubb all exists. But other Raider fans seemingly overvalue Jacobs. We got to stop overvaluing him. He is good, but what's much left to be desired on the field of play?
Okay, so let me say something real quick. Now, just because his numbers was the best in the league doesn't mean he was the best player in the league.
No.
Now, what I can say is this: Josh Jacobs, he's a top 5 running back, absolutely top 3 to be exact. But I'm not putting him over CMC. I'm just not doing that right now. I'm not putting him over CMC. And I can't say about Derrick Henry because Derrick Henry had a down year last year due to injuries. And then for me,
Chubb.
I will put CMC, I will put Jacobs, and then I will put at number 3 is Nick Chubb. That's my top 3 right there. And I just think CMC does more than just run the rock. He makes that 49ers offense look completely different when he's in the game. Completely different. So I've always been a big fan of CMC coming out of Stanford. So that was just one of my guys. He was always really good, and I always liked him in college football. I was a big fan of Jacobs, but at that time in college, I'd rather watch CMC than Josh Jacobs at Alabama. That's just
McCaffrey's definitely the more dynamic. Sorry, Leo. The more dynamic player. I'm not going to deny that, but like the difference between Jacobs and all those other guys is the mileage. You know what I mean? Like McCaffrey's been in the league longer. Derrick Henry's been in the league longer. And Josh Jacobs, he's been in the league 4 seasons and he's still pretty young. Granted, we have been running him into the ground, but for them, still like he should still be in the prime. Maybe he might not even have hit his prime yet. Who knows? But I think that's the difference between Jacobs and them is that like he should be in the prime, whereas those other guys, they kind of at that point where they're probably going to take a dip. Derek, especially with Henry, I mean, seems like he's already started, which is why Tennessee kind of already parted ways with him. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I think that what the Panthers try to do with CMC, I'm kind of happy he got rid because they ran him down to the ground too. He stayed injured in Carolina. That's what I mean. When you have too many carries on your body and you getting hit like that, that's going to take a toll. And we already saw Jacobs take a toll in his 4 years being here with the injuries that he had. So for me, the only person that I really didn't see get into injuries like that was Nick Chubb. He had some little ones, but he didn't really had no major injuries that he had to miss games. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, I still have CMC, Jacobs, Chubb. They my top 3, and then it's the rest for me.
But then let's look at CMC. How durable is he?
He's very durable. Once he got traded from
last year, he did better with the Niners than he did with Carolina.
He played every game after he got traded from Carolina.
In Carolina, he suffered with a lot of injuries.
A lot of injuries in Carolina. But he wasn't that injured when he came to the 49ers.
Yeah.
And McCaffrey was a one-man gang
in Carolina.
Oh, yeah, he was a one-man band in Carolina.
He didn't have to do that in San Francisco, that's for sure.
No.
Right. And he had one of the best offensive lines too when it comes to the 49ers they had a very good offensive line.
So would you be more concerned with Jacobs in his workload or McCaffrey in his injury proneness, if that's even a word?
I'm more concerned with Jacobs in his workload. I think 300 carries a year is killing him.
Well, no, to me, I really think that was a one-off just because it's his contract year. Like he didn't want to come off the field, because he had something to prove. But I think, to your point, Spotlight, I think that, we do need Zamir to step it up. But like I keep saying, and I think Randall actually said it. Yeah, I would love for him to get about 20 carries a game, 18, 20 carries a game. Let Zamir get another, 8 to 10 per game or something like that. I'm okay with that. And then put Abdullah in for, third down responsibilities and stuff like that.
What's that other
that would be
back
ideal. Because
talking about, Chris? What's that other running back?
We're not talking about Sincere McCormick. We're not talking about him, please.
Not until he shows us.
Oh, okay.
Man, yeah. And then also, like I always say it, I really like what the Browns are doing with Nick Chubbs, man. Yeah, I like that, man.
And Kareem Hunt.
I would like to do that.
I would love that. I mean, cause honestly, if you think about it, even when we had Gruden used to alternate. I think he had Jacobs would do 2 series, and then what's his name would come in.
Devontae Booker.
Yeah, Booker. Yep, and he would come in for that third. Like I said, it would alternate like that. Job. He did. I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I that's what I was saying. Like when it comes to the workload, if we could give him Zamir White to get some reps and gain his confidence and get him out there, I think he will improve this year. I just think he will. I don't know. I kind of wish he wore 36 because that's my favorite number. That's the number I played in football. But he got 35, so he gets a slot for that. But I just think the workload for Josh Jacobs, that's the only thing I'm nervous about. I don't want him to get like 300 carries this year. I just don't.
I really think that's one off.
Can I ask you a question,
all
Spotlight?
the weapons we have offensively, we could take some of that off of Josh Jacobs.
Can I ask you a question, Spotlight? All right, we're talking about Zamir White, who should develop to be the sidearm to Josh Jacobs. However, that same draft class, remember, we drafted Britton Brown. Now, I personally believe preseason we're going to be seeing a lot of those two cats. Now, if Britton Brown outshines Zamir White in preseason,
that's a problem.
do you think we're going to roll with him to be the sidearm over Zeus?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we just got to see what happens when it comes to, because Britton Brown didn't suit up barely last season, so we couldn't see him at all besides preseason. So I mean, we saw little flashes here and there of Zamir. It wasn't it was the most of it, but that's what I'm saying. I just want to see a little bit more rotation because he's going to keep at least 4 running backs on this roster. And right now, he had 5, adding Brandon Bolden, which he might keep Brandon Bolden because that's a favorite for Josh McDaniels.
I hope we don't.
And I hate Brandon Bolden.
I'd rather keep Abdullah.
But back to your question, we just have to wait it out and see. That's going to be an underrated position battle that nobody is talking about.
If it ain't Jacobs or Abdullah, I'd rather throw out Zamir or Britton into the fire than having Brandon Bolden out there again. Like, I've seen enough of him.
Right?
Please. But like, to your point, Spot, like I just want one of these young cats to emerge as a good spell back for Josh Jacobs. You're right. I don't want to. Ideally, like, yes, he plays at an elite level, but I don't want to see him carrying the rock so many times. With that load comes risk of injury, and if we lose Josh Jacobs, our running back room is in a lot of trouble until proven otherwise, unless one of these young cats steps up and proves to be the guy we're talking about.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Just Josh McDaniels, just give these guys a chance. If they don't pan out, they don't pan out. But at least you gave them a chance. That's all I'm asking for.
On that note, guys, I got to dip. Thanks for having me on.
This was the last topic anyway, bro. This was the last topic
Chris,
anyway.
Leo, been a pleasure. My dogs are hounding me to take them out.
Take the baby out.
I got to get going. But appreciate you guys. Everybody in the chat. Y'all have a good evening. And
all right, man. Thanks for coming through, man.
All right, brother. Talk to you later.
Peace.
But that's it for today's show, man. I think we had a pretty impact show. A lot of good topics. Unfortunately, my Mac laptop and Wi-Fi does not work with me. I think Leo
I got beat up. I got beat up by my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi won 3-0 against me.
You seem good right now. What changed?
Am I good?
Yeah,
you've been good for
this last segment. You've been good,
man. Let's keep going then. I'm ready. Let's go, baby.
You need to keep this.
I mean,
energy.
what you want to talk about? See,
man, I'm ready, man.
I want to ask y'all something. Like,
let's go.
We have this whole thing with McDaniels and the rebuild and what? How old is Devontae? Like, just turn 30, right?
Something like that.
He's about to turn 30. Yeah,
about to turn 30, and then we have Max, and he's up there, right? Say this season starts off like I sent you guys that video that we were gonna get our first one, and they said what? So like week 11.
That was ridiculous.
Oh, that was
ridiculous.
Right. That was ridiculous.
Man.
So say that happens, right? And then you start to get disgruntled.
Oh, he'll be 31 in December, just to let you know, Leo.
So
he'll be 31 in December.
Okay, so he did turn 30. That's what I thought. But anyway, so he's getting up there. Do you think we'll start seeing like disgruntledness in the players with Josh if they start to lose that many games and they lose more than they did last year?
Man, one thing I could say about Devontae Adams, I mean, he's finally speaking his mind, but it doesn't matter what quarterback it is. He's going to get his numbers at this point. He's going to get his numbers. I mean, the last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 4 of the 5, he had over 1,300 receiving yards. In 2019, he came close to get 1,000 at 997. That man's going to get his numbers regardless of what any coach is going to say to him. But I think what they were trying to do, I think it was pretty bogus that they really had us losing to the Chicago Bears. I mean, he had. I mean, when it comes to all those losses, I don't think we're going to have all those losses early in the season. But will those games be close that we possibly win? Yes.
Right.
Only thing I'm concerned about, like I said, I'm not worried about our offense. I'm worried about our defense. That's the number one thing that I'm looking forward to going into this season. Can we get off the field? Can we get off the field on 3rd and 2? Can we get off the field on 3rd and 5? Stuff like that. So if we can win those simple challenges as a defensive unit on the field, I think we'll have a better record than that. When that all those losses all the way up to week 11, and we beat the Miami Dolphins with all those weapons.
Yeah, they're wild. They're wilding on
That
that.
was wild, right?
They're smoking catnip. They smoking catnip. What they doing?
My nephew sent me
On-
that video. He's
on
like, "You see
basketball,
this?" And I
man.
was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh hell no, haters." Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just kind of to your point, Spotlight. I think it does come down to the defense. I really think our offense is going to be rocking. I really do.
And
I
that's
really do.
based on what? The fact that Jimmy's going to start and he's going to keep it moving.
Oh well, yeah. Okay, so this is based on we're going to have a happy JJ.
Okay,
You know, so we're going to pay him.
he got paid. He's on
He
the
got
team.
paid. He's happy.
Okay,
And then Jimmy is going to stay healthy. I really think he will because, for one, his contract depends on it. That's why I love the way his contract is written.
Mhm.
He has to. I mean, he's only going to get paid for what he plays. If he gets hurt, he's not getting paid. So I love what Zig did with his contract. So I think that, Jimmy is going to make sure he stays healthy. And I think the way that our offense is ran, the ball's going to get out of his hands quickly. It's all about making the quick read. It's all concept based. So that's why a lot of people are upset that Carr wasn't able to do what he wanted to at the line. The way the offense is
It's different.
you take what the defense gives you. If you run certain concepts, they can't guard everything. So if you go to your read, something's going to be open. You just have to find it. And I think Jimmy's going to be able to do that, man.
And this is what's gonna make me mad about the fans this season, real quick, before you say something, Leo. If Jimmy Garoppolo throw a dump down pass to get the first down, shut up.
It's a
Don't
first
complain about
down.
a dump down pass. Don't complain about dump down pass. Oh, we doing dink and dunk. We not going deep down the field. If we got the first down and we got the offense still on the field, what are you complaining for?
Man, I used to hate. That's the biggest. Even when we were winning, like back in the 2000s with Gruden and all that, you would still hear that from some of the older folks that we don't throw deep because it was just quick slants. The West Coast,
Yeah,
we need to throw. I'm like, bro, it's the first down. We're winning. What are you bitching about?
Right.
And that's the thing is, like, anyone who really understands football, man, understands that, like, that is the actual scheme that we're in. And honestly, the only time that McDaniels really went away from that scheme is when he had Randy Moss. So he was able to adjust.
Not true.
And then when you got two Hall of Famers they're playing catch with each other. So that worked. But besides that, I mean, it's all about being efficient, moving the chains, keeping Mahomes off the field, chewing up clock. Like, that's how we're gonna win games, man.
Yeah, Randall, that's the prediction we're talking about, bro. The one.
The NFL Network prediction. I thought, man, I ain't gonna lie, he needs some kitty cat for that because he ain't getting none. He ain't getting none.
Yeah, because you hear a lot of chatter like, "Oh, Adams is gonna get disgruntled. He's gonna want to leave the Raiders," and I'm like, man,
if that's the case, this should have been many years that he wanted out of Green Bay the way he keeps losing in the playoffs.
Right. I think last year he proved that he didn't need. Last year he proved he didn't need Rodgers to still be, elite receiver.
And it just proving that Rodgers needed him. That's what it proved.
So do you guys think that do you think Devontae's still going to have an all-pro type of year? I don't think he'll be all-pro, but I think he'll still be maybe top 7-ish in the league in receiving.
I think he'll still be at least top 5, even with Jimmy, bro. I think like Spotlight said, Devontae's still gonna get his. He's gonna get open. They're still gonna get on the ball, and he's still gonna make his plays.
Yeah. But
And he's
honestly,
under year 2 under Josh McDaniels' offense too, so he
Right.
knows the offense a little bit better. Because remember in the offseason last year, he was like that playbook was complicated, and the fact that he said the playbook was complicated because of the terminology
The language
of it.
yeah,
So now you have going into this season, he knows the terminology. He's definitely going to get a full season, which he had a full season last year, but get a better understanding. And I think he might lead the league in receiving this year.
I still think even with like to your point, Chris, you say he doesn't really open up till he had Moss. I think he saw that like he could do that with Adams too, because there were a few times
they
he
went
did go
deep.
with
Yeah,
Adams.
they went deep quite a
And
bit.
it was with Adams,
Yeah.
and with Cole a couple times he went deep. Mm-hmm. So it's
Agreed.
there.
No, I agree. I honestly, I really like it. And I've been on record, before we even got Jimmy. So like, I'm not even going to act like a bandwagon guy. Like I was super excited about Jimmy because I wasn't at first.
I wasn't either.
Yeah, I'm easing up to it because it makes sense. It makes sense.
Right. I mean, he's our quarterback now. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I really think that they're going to move the ball. I mean, I think Randall has a good point. Jimmy will allow Josh to open up the playbook because again, I think everyone thinks that Josh kind of like handcuffed Carr, which he kind of did because Carr didn't really understand the system. That's why when Stiddy came in, you saw Stiddy was at the line making making changes, changing the blocking scheme and all. Like he just looked comfortable.
Yeah, you could tell the difference between Stidham and Carr on the field. Like, you could tell. For me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I felt like Josh McDaniels didn't want Carr to be the starting quarterback. Just for me,
I don't agree.
I don't know if he didn't want him to. They just didn't go eye to eye with what they wanted to do. You know what I mean? Carr was used to doing his way. And
that's what it was. He was used to doing it. Yeah. It was uncomfortable for Carr. It was uncomfortable for him.
Like what I did last year on my own when Gruden left, Bisaccia took over, but it was Carr running that damn offense.
Exactly. He literally went from because even Gruden kind of handcuffed him a little bit, but like once Gruden left, if you remember, Carr started balling right away because he literally was doing stuff that like he was telling. Yeah, like he was telling the offensive coordinator what he wanted to run and all. You could tell that he was running the show.
Yeah. And that wasn't going to happen when Josh.
Yeah, so it was like the complete polar opposite of what Josh came. Josh like, look, I understand you want to do your own thing, but look, we already have the concepts figured out. You just have to, follow what the concepts say to do. And he just
I get that, but I feel like every quarterback can't be in a Josh McDaniels system. I just don't think so.
No, they can't. They can't.
And for me, I just felt like Derek Carr, he was more of let me take control of the line or let me be the gunslinger that I am. And I don't think Josh McDaniels gave him that opportunity. And you see, even when what happened with the whole John Gruden thing, you see when he got fired, Carr played a little bit better than what he did earlier in the year.
He was more free.
He was more free to make adjustments at the line. He's been with the Raiders so long, he knows the game. He knows what he could do at the line. If he sees something that he knows that he can attack, he wants to make that adjustment. And that's what I think a lot of coaches are learning to do with their quarterback. They're starting to trust their instinct of their quarterback. I think Josh McDaniels is just stuck in like you have to do it this way or you're not going to do it at all. And
but I can see why though, because the stuff works though.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a proven winner. It's a proven winner.
They were a lot less predictable last year than they were the year before.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm not too sure. Hold up. Yeah. But this is my issue with the whole Josh McDaniels thing. Yes, he's successful as an offensive coordinator, but play calling as a head coach has been completely different from him. He has not been successful as a play caller as a head coach. So for me, I think he has to get better as a head coach because he was so successful as an offensive coordinator. He thinks that, okay, just because I was an offensive coordinator, I could translate it to being a head coach. No, it's more than what you have to do as a head coach than being a play caller.
And that's the knock on him right now. He can call great plays. He's still a great offensive coordinator. We're not down that. But as a head coach, now he has more of the responsibilities. When you blow those leads, That falls on the coaching staff. That goes on him.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
When you only play a game for 3 quarters and you don't show up on the 4th, that falls on the coaching staff. That's where McDaniel's lacking. You know, I never doubt his play calling ability. Like, I get that the man can call plays, he can run the offense. But now you're the head coach. This is the part I want to see you step that shit up and not allow that shit to continue to happen. Develop your players. You know, you're getting the players you want now. You're starting to bring in your boys. I don't care where they fucking come from. Bring in your boys. Bring in your squad. Get your dudes going that are going to know what you want to do. Get these youngsters to follow them. And then hopefully we'll start seeing the difference.
And just to go back to what I was saying, what you were saying about Devontae Adams, Chris, I think now Devontae Adams is going to be more open because of the fact that you got Jacoby Myers on the opposite side.
I think that helps huge, bro. Having Jacoby Myers on that.
But my thing is, no matter what, they're going to bracket Adams. So and the reason I say, because Mac Hollins, he did a pretty decent job at times. But the thing is, like, Jacoby is going to dog people on one-on-one coverage, and to be honest, Hunter's going to as well. So so honestly, like, as good as Devontae is, when he has so much attention, a easy completion is going to be for Hunter, because Hunter's going to kill an outside linebacker that's or a safety that's coming down.
And this is what I want to see out of Josh McDaniels too. I need him to unleash Hunter Renfrow. Let him run those routes, those unexpected routes.
Hunter got to still stick within the game plan.
Yeah, that goes back to the other part. Like,
no. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when it comes to but put him in those routes that made him great when he got that bag. Is what I'm saying. Like, when you go to most of them were option routes. The option routes. Yes, I think he's really good there. So I get what you're saying. I want to see more of the option routes with Renfrow.
But I really think the reason that they brought in Danny Amendola as a coach is specifically to help Renfrow.
Yeah,
I'm telling him that right there. Yep,
specifically just for him.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I think Renfrow's smart, bro. He's a great player.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to give up on Renfrow. Yeah, I really don't want to give up on him, because for one, he seems like a coach's pet, whereas like he's gonna want to do what the coach wants him. Like, he's like a hard worker. Like, he wants to do a good job. He wants to be coachable. Like, I don't think granted, he probably thrives a little bit more freestyling, but I think he's gonna go out there and really try to put that extra work in and learn that system. And I think he could be a dog. I mean, I do wish we did something with his contract, restructured a little bit, and kind of,
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm gonna get you a 3rd and Renfrow shirt, Chris. You gonna wear that? Watch.
No, I like Renfrow. I like Renfrow. I rock with Renfrow, but
I can actually get a graphic done like that.
If he's the reason why we don't, if he's the reason why we don't pay Josh, F Renfrow.
Nah, I don't think he's not the reason we don't pay Josh. We don't pay Josh because the regime.
That's
what the NFL believes. You know what I mean?
Out there, even though he restructured his contract, that contract is still big. Even the fact they reconstructed it.
Yeah, he already.
Yeah, but it's all about when the money hits, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, we got that 30 million that's coming off the book
next year. We're looking better next year. We're looking way better next year.
And one thing.
If he can play on the franchise tag and he know he's going to get the bag next season, wow, just wait it out.
But then there's that risk.
Just wait it out. Just play under the tag.
Man, shout out to Randall. Shout out to Randall in the comments, man. He really be saying some good stuff. I'll be feeling what Randall's saying, man. I do.
And
man.
Randall, if you ever want to come up here and talk it out with us, just let us know, man.
Yeah, we gotta have Randall here. Randall always knocking out the park. At least from my mindset. He's probably one of the only ones that think
he stays active in the chat, and I like his takes,
Yeah, Randall's my dog. Shout out to Randall.
Big Tone says Hunter prefers unscripted plays. It might not fit McDaniel's system, but like Chris said, he said that he brought in Danny Amendola to be, to help him out with that as like a wide receivers coach or something of that nature, So I'm not. I wouldn't say he won't fit the system. I just feel like if you could treat Hunter Renfrow like Josh McDaniels did Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola in those years, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I remember those teams didn't have a big number one receiver other than Moss, bro.
Yeah, but then they only had Moss for those 2 years, but
Yeah.
they relied on the tight end and the little slot receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they Gronk. Remember Aaron
Gonzalez.
Hernandez. They had
Oh
Hernandez at
yeah,
the time
yeah.
too.
Aaron
Hernandez.
Hernandez.
Yeah,
Damn.
Hernandez.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
a crazy.
absolutely.
That was a crazy dude.
No, yeah. But now we
Oh,
got
I don't think
Mayor.
I
We got our
asked you this
tight
question. I don't
ends.
think I asked you this question, Chris. You was gone when I asked this trivia question. So I asked Leo and I asked AK this question. What year did Al Davis come to the Raiders as a head coach and a GM? Am I frozen?
No, Chris is thinking.
Oh, because he's staring hard as hell, or he
Or
frozen.
is
I
he
don't know.
frozen? I think he's frozen. Yeah.
Oh damn! And
Mm-hmm.
don't put it in the comments, y'all. Do not put it in the comments. Chris already, Leo already knows. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully he get Chris back. Hopefully we
Yeah.
can. Cause I think it's gonna be the last thing that I'm ahead of. I'm so disappointed in my computer. Disappointed. Hopefully I hear back from to see what I can do. Get warranty.
Yeah. Figure that out, bro. You just got that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or listen, I have to run to my aunt's house and get my USB to XLR cord. I have to do that.
Yeah.
To see if that works until I get my Rodecaster Pro. But yeah,
That's right,
I
Paul. Tight
still
end
have other mics.
87. Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer, bro. He's gonna ball out this year.
I'm really looking forward to Michael Mayer, but you know who else I'm looking forward to? I really want to see what Austin Hooper do.
Yeah.
I really want to see
It's
what
gonna be different.
Austin Hooper
I tell
does.
people you can't expect them to be like Waller was because Waller was different. They bring different aspects. Their game is different, but yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm waiting for Chris to come back so I can give him this trivia question and we can head off here. That's the only thing that we really waiting on. I think we had a good show today, even though all the hiccup with the Wi-Fi and I can't cam up. Next week is gonna be better. I promise you that. I'm gonna go into my aunt's house this weekend and go
Man,
get my other microphones. I'm gonna go get my actual USB microphone.
there he is. Did
But,
you know the answer, Chris, or did you go
Hey,
Google it? That's why you froze.
Did you hear the question, Chris?
I didn't, man. AOL was kicking my butt.
Stay out them AOL chat rooms, man. Stay out them AOL chat rooms.
Call
Man,
them, bro. Get a
AOL
troubleshooter.
AOL chat rooms used to be lit. That's where you find all the honeys, man.
Man, what was your name
What's
back then?
ASL?
What was
What's
your name back then,
what's your
bro?
My name,
ASL?
look, my handle was CK Player.
Ooh,
PLAYA. CK Player.
damn, bro.
I was smooth, baby.
Damn.
And
No,
there'd be
I'm
like,
not gonna lie though. Mine was D Money L 2005. You know,
Oh my lord.
D Money L 2. Listen, that was the year I graduated high school. I'm telling my age, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
oh, but I was, man, yeah, I was in them chat rooms early, man. Try to talk to older women, like age, sex, location.
Right.
Man, bro, I was in the
Yup.
Navy at the time.
ASL.
I was in the military in the Navy at the time, and we'd be out to sea, and they had like a little computer room, and fools would be on there all the time.
Hey, you find
Chatting
some
up
honeys in
people. I'm
there.
like, oh my god.
What's up, my guy? What's going on, Raider Allegiance? What's up, buddy? What's
Come
up,
on,
man?
man.
What's going on? But
Okay, but what was the
my-
question, man? What was the
for
question
all
before
y'all-
my AOL goes out?
all right, so the question was, what year did Al Davis come to the Raiders as a head coach and a GM?
Oh, when he first came from because he came from the Chargers,
First
right?
came to the Raiders.
Hey, you knew that. You knew where
Yup.
he came from.
Yeah, I remember he came from the Chargers.
Yeah.
Because he was like 30, he was early 30s. I'll say like 64-ish, 60, like between 63 and 65.
It was 63, bro.
Okay, I was about
He
to
was
say I knew
33
it was
years
something
old
like,
in 1963.
yeah, because I know he was like early 30s.
Yeah, he was 33.
Yeah, and Leo pulled up his record. His record was pretty good as a coach GM.
Oh yeah, I think as a coach, I think his didn't he win like 61% of his games? Wasn't he like a 61.5?
Well, with the Raiders, he was 23 and 16, and then overall he was 52 and 41 in his career.
What was that percentage?
Oh damn, bro! I don't want to do the math right now. Yeah,
Yeah, I do remember looking at it at one point.
yeah, but it was one of the highest win percentages.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So for y'all people that didn't know that 1963 when Al Davis was him, ladies and gentlemen, Chris, I need to talk to you about, you know, your guy that make your glasses. He need to be a sponsor for Protect the Shield podcast and Nothing But Raiders podcast, man. He need to be a sponsor.
That's my boy Rick, man.
Shout out to Rick. He's cool as hell.
Yeah, he is cool. I don't know if he'll be a sponsor because he's a.
Yeah, I don't
think
he can do that.
Yeah, he's a small business trying to make it, man. But you know, I definitely always support, you know, small businesses. But yeah, he got fire stuff, man. Made my.
Yeah, I got mine right here. I just need the Woodson whiskey. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you just need a little bit of this.
Yeah.
For this. Both bottles going.
Look at that.
And this. I better stop before y'all start judging me.
I just got off of work, so it's like I was still in the work mode.
I'm a drinker, but I ain't got it to drink right now. I ain't got it to drink. If I'm drinking right now, I'm drinking the cheap shit like E&J.
Hey, you drink what you want, bro. You drink what's good.
I feel you.
Right?
I don't like drinking the cheap. I like drinking the cheap shit though, because I like to, you know, malt liquors there, like them smooth cognacs, you know. So they my two. I don't drink no clear. 100 grand and Grand Marnier is my two. But if I'm being cheap, I'm getting the peach E&J. If I'm being cheap.
I remember them days, man. I used to do that with the E&J and Parmesan.
Do the crown, bro. That's not that bad.
The Parmesan, man.
Parmesan trying to get a little bougie. They got flavors now. I'm like, what?
They got apple.
Yeah,
there's an apple Parmesan. I'm like, what?
I seen that. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
Well, that's our episode in the books. I thought this was a pretty fun episode. Once the season starts, we definitely be going live twice a week, probably around training camp, because there's not really too much going on as far as Raider stuff. I try to find my best to get to certain topics to get on Chris nerves with certain stuff.
Hey, but you know what?
I wait to go to training camp, bro. That's just gonna be.
Oh yeah, what day you going?
The 28th.
That's fire, man. I wonder if they, because I think during certain times they don't let you record anything.
I don't know yet, because one of my boys is a season ticket holder.
Okay.
And they first gave it only to the club members, so they had certain days, like but then he just got the email they opened up for him, so he's like, "Hey, you still want them?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I get to go from 8:30 to 10:30.
That's fire, man.
Yeah.
Well, just let me know. I gotta if you want to go live on the channel, we can, you know, do that.
Yeah.
But if you want to record it, you can just send it to me and you know, put it on, you know, some clips on Protect the Shield and some on ours.
Yeah, I'll do that,
and
bro.
go from there.
Oh,
what's going on, Westside Media? What's up, my brother?
What's up, Big Iron?
What's up, man?
5-1. Oh, that's
Arizona.
Arizona.
I finally get to see your comments now. I had to reset everything in my back end to make sure you was good. But we gotta have you come up on the show, man. Talk your shit. So I know one thing about him, one thing about Westside Media, he would tell it like it is when it comes to Raider Nation, man.
You need to, shoot.
I know we need to.
My boy right there.
But
people just need to stop getting hurt when you share your feelings. You know what
I mean? Know, man. I can't wait till the season. I can't wait till the season starts. So then at least the side that was wrong can at least be proven. You know, like
what happens?
You know, because my thing is, if I'm wrong about McDaniels, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna stand on it. I'm gonna stand on it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hold him accountable. See, that's the difference between me and a lot of other fans. I'm gonna hold him accountable.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna say give McDaniels 9 years to prove himself. No, if he's not doing it,
Why you always gotta throw the shade though?
That's
See
how
what
I
you do?
That wasn't no shade. I
You
just said
said
9 years.
I know
I just said
exactly
9
who you're
years.
talking to. You know damn well who you talking
I
about.
just said 9 years. I'm just saying, as much as I like Josh McDaniels, I ain't gonna give him 9.
Nah. Coaches and regimes they get 3. They get 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 and done.
Quarterback.
Not third and Renfro, 3rd and done.
3rd and done.
Well,
Shout out to Mr. Bag
Yeah,
Chaser,
true.
man. I met him yesterday or the other day. He's a cool dude on IG.
What's going
dude.
on, Mr. Bag Chaser? What's going on, my God? Thank you for tuning into the channel. Make sure y'all subscribe to both of these guys' channels, man. I got them in the description. Chris is trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. I think you probably already at the 4,000 watch hours, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not, man. I said I gotta get more, man.
What happened to your interview with homeboy? What was that Cartwright?
Yeah, he had to push it back. I'm probably gonna do it here in a couple days. We still been talking back and forth, so I got a couple good things. I got him lined up. More than likely, I got Bruce Grakowski lined up.
Not Bruce Almighty, bro.
Bruce Almighty.
That was my dude.
If you talk to him, you gotta talk to him about being an offensive coordinator instead of the St. Louis Battlehawks. He's an offensive coordinator. He coached AJ McCarron.
Damn,
Oh, did he?
bro.
Oh yeah, I'll get in all that. He
You got
Okay.
Bruce Almighty, bro. Damn, that was my dude back in the sad days.
Yeah, no, that was my dude too, man. I even played with him in Madden.
Yeah,
I can take Jamarcus out, man. I took Jamarcus out. Let's go.
And
I'm rocking with Bruce,
Almighty,
man.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Bruce.
I still remember that Pittsburgh game when he took and got us that win.
Yeah, that's fire. With him, he was actually the quarterback for my boy's quarterback, Lance Moore at Toledo. Lance, he played for the Saints. So, but yeah, that's kind of our connection though. But yeah, Bruce is a good dude, man. He's fired. We
I think we lost him again.
Oh, I thought my internet was going out, but
No,
I am going to head off here, fellas. I think the show was pretty good tonight. Chris been sipping on that Woodson's whiskey there a little bit with that nice cup that I need to go get me one day. One day I will. But I appreciate y'all, man. Everything that went on in the past weekend. I appreciate it. I really do from the bottom of my heart. I wish I could cam up, but I'll be looking like a gigapet if I did. I think Chris froze up. We go ahead and we appreciate it, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Leo channel. Subscribe to Protect the Show podcast. All the links are in the description, y'all, for everything that y'all need as far as the Nothing But Raiders podcast merch. If you want to get that merch, the link is in the description. We appreciate y'all, and we are out of here. Peace, love, and blessings. We see y'all next week on another edition of Nothing But Raiders podcast.